Good evening and welcome to Nethermore, and at Guiseley AFC Radio we are bringing you full live coverage even of tonight's game between Guiseley and Leamington. It's Tuesday night, it's a league match. I don't think we've experienced this since Tuesday in September. It's been a remarkable run of postponements. It's been a very difficult time for the club, but thankfully tonight the pitch, although in not ideal condition, is going to hold up by all accounts, and we will get this crucial Skrill North encounter on its way. I'm Colin Robertson. Alongside to me tonight is Tom Feeney. Tom, welcome. It's going to be a key night, isn't it, for the Lions? We've got to get the 3 points here.
Good evening, Colin. Yes, it most certainly will be tonight. This is just one of them games where when you look at, for Guiseley, with the amount of games in hand, if Guiseley can win tonight, it's a case that then they can move on to the game on Saturday with that renewed optimism. And, it is one of them games. It's a crucial one. Leamington are just below Guiseley in the Skrill North table. And if Guiseley can win tonight, move a bit ahead of them, and then, move on to the next opposition for Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, it's been such a long time that we've had a real run of fixtures. And, of course, the postponements have really been a problem in that they've really interrupted a run of fantastic form that we were on prior to that. And since then, the pressure sort of has eased a little bit. I mean, there was an expectation at one point that we were going to get in the playoffs. There's a hope now. But as much as we are mathematically in touch, I think there's an expectation that really it's an awful big ask, isn't it, to win every game in hand?
Yeah, when you look at the amount of injuries the team can get, and, guys, it's going to be a case of playing 3 games in a week, some weeks, and, you just can't expect that guys who will be able to put out that full-strength squad every game. So I think that will play to guys' advantage, to be perfectly honest. It's a case that the fans can just enjoy the game of football rather than wanting and expecting the win. It can be a case of, if we win, brilliant. If we don't, then at least, we're still getting, the good performances in.
Well, last Tuesday, of course, we had a fantastic result against Brackley away. 2-1 there against a team that's really looking to push on, possibly win the title, but definitely take a berth in those playoffs that we're hoping for. And then on Saturday, it was a long trip down again, this time into Cambridgeshire, where we took on Histon. And this is what Mark Bauer said after that game.
I'm joined now by Mark Bauer after the 1-1 draw at Histon. Mark, you said on Tuesday night you had a target for games. I'm going to guess that 1 point wasn't what you targeted for today.
No, not exactly. I mean, if you look at the week as a whole, I guess from the 2 away games you'd have taken 4 points. But we're going into every game to win it, regardless of any targets that we're looking at. It's more of a guide really over longer term. We're going into every game to try and win them. We went into it today to win it. Had 2 glorious chances before they scored in the second half. If we could have got our noses in front, I think we'd have seen the game out. But difficult conditions, both teams tried to pass it, and I think that sort of in the first half there's barely a chance of any note for either side, and I think the conditions sort of didn't help any kind of flow of play, and made it difficult. And it was you felt it was always going to be the team that got in front will probably go on to win it. So I'm pleased that having gone behind we showed the character to come back and get a point, and who knows, it might be a valuable one at the end of the season.
It looked really stretched actually at points in that game. Was that because you were asking the players to push on and go for the winner?
Yeah, we definitely went out. Certainly, the first half was a bit flat. It almost felt as if Tuesday night was still in the legs, almost a long trip down and what have you. But we came out in the second half and like I said, 2 really, really good chances to go in front before they scored. And we were going out to try and win games. And despite their position in the league, it's not an easy place to come. Teams don't get too many results down here, so ideally we wanted to win. We went out to win the game, had the chances to win the game, just not to be today. But we'll take the point, and if we can go on Tuesday night and get 3 from that, it's not a bad return from the 3 games.
The pitch today obviously was very cut up, very difficult to play on. Another poor surface really, compared to the results we've had. Where we've had poor surfaces, we tend to get the results that we don't really want. Is there a correlation, or do we have to adapt our game?
I think so. I think we adapted it better to the conditions today. I think we were the team that looked more likely to win the game before they got in front. We've got players that like to pass the ball on the ground in the team. We've had a team full of those types of players for the last 2.5 years that I've been at the club. It's been unprecedented state of the pitches that I think we've been playing on this year. But you know, it's the same for both teams, and I think we've adapted to it reasonably well today. Like I say, take those couple of chances, we win the game, we move on, and we've got a good result on a poor pitch, and you know, put to bed maybe that little thing in the back of our minds that's hindering us. But you know, we go out there, we try and win the game regardless of what we're playing on, and today I thought we'd create the best chances to do that. Unfortunately, not to be. So we move on to Tuesday.
Clean bill of health for Tuesday?
Yeah, Gavin Rother is a bit of a dead leg, so we'll see how that settles down. So yeah, Jack Ray's gone over on his knee in training on Thursday night, which doesn't look too clever at the minute, but we'll wait to see the extent of that, which is a real blow, because you know, coming into this last 6, 7, 8 weeks of the season, Jack could be a big player to have back in the side with the number of games that we've got coming up. So that's disappointment. We'll see how the lads are on the way back and how they feel when they wake up in the morning. But you know, thankfully we've got decent numbers in the squad, and we might just freshen it up again on Tuesday night.
Great, thanks, Mark.
Cheers, Colin.
So Mark Bauer there talking to me after the game against Histon on Saturday, in which the Lions drew 1-1. Now on Sunday it was an immediate return to Nethermore for a number of people, and also a number of the local neighbours and fans of the club, because we had an open day here to introduce the plans for the stadium, for the ground here, and also for the new community facility. AD Towers spoke to Nick Keefe after the game, after the event, and here's what he had to say.
We're down at the ground for Guiseley's open day, where we've been looking at the plans for the ground, and just wanted to grab a moment with AD Towers, who's our chief executive, before we all head off home to get his thoughts on how the afternoon's gone. So, decent turnout, AD. Happy with how the day's gone?
Yes, I mean, when I was speaking to a couple of the councillors, saying that at that point in time we probably had about 100 people here, and that we'd been sort of, you know, actively employed, and it had all been very good, but that didn't seem that many. But they were saying that was a very good turnout, and in fact the turnout continued right until, well, almost until closing time. So yeah, good chance to speak to people. Interesting to hear people's views on the developments, and overall, you know, a very positive day, I think.
Great, and we've had a lot of fans in. We've had local residents and people from all sort of areas of the community. And how's your feeling been on whether people have been able to get a better understanding, really, of what we're hoping to do? Do you think that information's gone over well?
Yes, I mean, thanks to everybody who's helped out. I mean, you have to say that it's been sort of very much a communal effort in terms of what should be presented and you know, what's available and how it's available. I think one of the things from the club's point of view is that we maybe missed a trick in advance of this in terms of how we had sort of promoted and advertised what we were doing. But the reality is that I think the material we've had out there today has probably answered a lot of questions. It's helped to hopefully to allay people's fears, and overall people, I must say, have been very positive.
Great, so overall an enjoyable day, one worth doing, and we hope people have got the information they want to. If not, then we'll keep pushing that out on the website, and there's more information to come, isn't there, on the website on everything we're planning on putting in again, and so we'll get the chance to make sure everybody knows what we're planning to do going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think things may develop fairly quickly over the next few weeks. I think we've got a lot of information which we'll incorporate into the various documentation we'll be returning people, and hopefully we'll be able to report good news as soon as possible.
Great, thanks.
Well, as soon as possible, that would be very welcome, wouldn't it, on the new developments, and great to hear from everyone who came down on Sunday to support the open day. And I know that the event was really well positively received by the people who did come down, and of course people had an opportunity to voice their opinion, which was great. The two teams are just lining up in the tunnels, but before we go to the team lineups, Tom Feeney spoke to Mark Bauer ahead of the encounter tonight, and here's what he had to say.
Productive week last time, 4 points out of 6, now back at Nethermore. Look to carry that run on?
Yeah, it's important now. We've got these games in hand, a lot of them are at home. Starts tonight, looking to get another 3 points on the board. You know, you can make a bigger move as such when not as many of the teams are playing in midweek, but so psychologically it's good from that point of view. But we've got a lot of games coming up, a lot of them at home, so it gives us an opportunity to really get some points on the board.
I was going to say, last time Guiseley played Leamington 3-2, it was a fantastic game. Do you think there'll be plenty of goals again this time round?
I hope not so many in our goal, but yeah, I think they're certainly capable of scoring goals. They had a good win at the weekend against Stockport, and we've been creating quite a few chances, just not taking as many as I'd like at the minute. So hopefully we can keep creating them, and tonight, just take the chances and and get some goals. But if you offered me a 1-0 right now, I'd take it straight away.
And in terms of team, just any news to give right now?
Not yet. A couple of changes from Saturday there'll be, but just going to go in there and tell the lads, and just got to try and keep it as fresh as possible with a decent squad that we've got, and a lot of fixtures. Just try and keep everyone on the toes and putting in playing to 100%.
It's just a final question. I was just going to say, just how important is it to make sure everyone is playing, and moves fresh, and there's no one carrying any little niggles?
It's important, ideally, you'd like to have a settled side week in, week out, build up partnerships and things like that. But playing on the heavy pitches at the minute, and with a lot of games coming up, there are going to be players that get little niggles and injuries, and you're going to have to freshen it up and put fresh players in. But we've got quality, well within the squad. So we'll look to utilise that best we can, and hopefully that'll be the best way to get results.
Thanks, Mark.
Tom Feeney there, talking to Mark Bauer this evening earlier on, just ahead of tonight's game. Well, the two sides are now out on the field. Let's just quickly go through the team lineups. For Leamington, Tony Breeden is number 1. 2, Ryan Higgins. 3, Stephen Morley. 4, Joe Magunda. 5, Liam Daly. 6, James Mace. 7, Matt Dodd. 8, Craig Owen. 9, Josh Hawker. And 10, Danny Newton, and 11, Peter Till. The referee just about to kick off proceedings. The Lions line up with a familiar lineup, that's for sure. Steve Drench in goal, and number 2 is Andy Holdsworth. Just trying to start my clock, can't seem to get it to go. 3, Reece Maynell. 4, Ben Parker. 5, Danny Ellis. 6, Jake Lawler. 7, Wayne Brooksby. 8, Danny Boschel. 9, Kevin Holsgrove. 10, Alex Johnson. 11, Gavin Rothery. I'll give you the subs shortly. We're underway, left to right. But Tom, interesting, very familiar, very consistent lineup again. Yeah,
and that's good to see. I think, Mark was saying before the game that is his aim, to try and get a consistent lineup going. Of course, he knows with how many games there are, that won't be the case in all games. But, it's good to see today, and hopefully a good 3 points will be achieved.
Well, don't forget, you can tweet us at Guiseley Radio if you're tuning in from, listening from as a supporter of our visitors, Leamington. Welcome. We do try and call it as we see it. We'll try not to be overly partisan. Of course we are Guiseley, and we hope we win. But your comments and your listening is more than welcome this evening. Guiseley underway, the ball on the right-hand side. We've had about a minute of play, not much has happened so far. Wayne Brooksby's picking up the ball on the right-hand side, laid it into Gavin Rothery. Rothery's just won a throw-in on that right flank. Takes what looks a bit like a foul throw, to be honest, at first, and then in the end Leamington do well to win the corner, and their fullback Higgins will take the throw.
Well, interesting there, just that throw in there, because I think all the guys who played thought it was a foul throw. No one contested for the ball. So when Leamington got back possession, it just was a case that everyone looked just a bit shocked that foul throw hadn't been given.
The throw-ins continue. That seems to be an early theme of this match, actually. The ball hasn't managed to stay in touch on the far side from where we're watching it. Leamington do pick up possession now, play it in towards Matt Dodd. Dodd turns, but is tackled well by Danny Ellis. Ellis helps it up to the halfway line, where Kevin Holsgrove takes over, turns back, lays it into the feet of Reece Maynell, and left back, plays it forward towards Alex Johnson. Johnson turns, goes past Ryan Higgins. Higgins gets a touch in on it, and Guiseley have a corner, and a rather cheap corner for Leamington's perspective to concede. And it's a good start, this, from Guiseley.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Higgins there, he's just trying to kick it out of play for a throw-in, and he just miscontrols it, and he's kicked it right out of play for a corner. And, it's a good early chance for Guiseley with Brooksby taking it and, getting a few men forward as well. And Leamington, they'll have to be on their toes, or Guiseley will be getting an early goal.
Well, Brooksby's got the ball in the left-hand corner here. Gavin Rothery comes short, but Brooksby opts to whip this one up towards the back post. The goalkeeper had to be alive to that. Tony Breeden watched it on the edge of the 6-yard box and took it away after Rothery feigned for an early close-range short corner. The ball was whipped in by Brooksby, but well claimed by the goalkeeper. And Leamington make a counter-attack, which goes all the way back to Stephen Drench. But they win back possession in midfield. Josh Hawker taking over, plays a good ball through here. Looks to get the number 10 away. Danny Newton, and would you believe it, Newton has snuck in between Danny Ellis and Stephen Drench and put the ball in the back of the net. Leamington have an early lead with just 3 minutes on the clock. It's Guiseley 0, Leamington 1.
Well, fantastic goal there by Leamington, I've got to say, because it's just the pass from midfield and it's split open the Guiseley defence. And Danny Ellis looks like he's got it covered, but Danny Newton's just got that yard of pace. It's a poke finish just past Steve Drench, who had come out for the ball. But, well, it's 1-0, and to be honest, it's a good goal, but what a poor goal for Guiseley to concede. Well,
immediately Kevin Holsgrove takes from the kick-off a shot at goal. It's not desperation stakes yet, lads. It's only 3 minutes gone. We're a goal behind, though, and it's, well, you know, we just said moments earlier, what a good start to the game. And then really a very poor piece of defending. Danny Ellis and Stephen Drench just short of the ball that was played through. Good ball through from Josh Hawker. Danny Newton just poked the ball past Stephen Drench. And Guiseley are a goal down. Not a great start.
Well, no, it most certainly isn't. And that was Leamington's first attack of the match. Guiseley, you know, been the team trying to get forward in the opening couple of minutes. But, you know, it's just that cut-through ball, and Guiseley just didn't seem to be prepared for it. And, you know, it's a really good finish by Newton. You've got to give him credit.
Another ball over the top here. Newton's looking once again here from the fullback. Stephen Morley played a lovely ball right over the back line. Newton couldn't get away this time. Stephen Drench playing a good sweeper role. Guiseley have conceded another throw. It's about level with the edge of the 18-yard box. It's played into the area this time. Taken down by Andy Holdsworth. He can't defend that one. And in the end, Guiseley have been given a free kick for a little nudge on Holdsworth. Just a chance to gather the thoughts here.
Well, just a little bit worrying there, though. On two occasions, you know, Leamington have got the ball forward, trying to split a ball just to try and split the defence. And, you know, on both occasions, Steve Drench has had to come out, and on one occasion, you know, Danny Newton's able to get a toe poke past him. On that occasion, Drench is able to clear it. But, you know, it's a couple of signs that Leamington have come here to try and attack and get a few more goals.
Well, Rhys Maynell has just gone in a very heavy tackle on Leamington player who's just gone down, straight down. I think it was Josh Hawker. The referee has gone straight to his book, and Rhys Maynell, I think, will go into the book. It was just an ill-timed challenge, really. He just connected with him. It was Matt Dodd who was on the receiving end of it. And Rhys Maynell will be the first yellow card of the night. And this game isn't starting well for us. 6 minutes gone. We're a goal down and a man in the book. And Maynell will have to be on his watch for the rest of the evening.
Well, you know, Rhys does like to go in and make a few tackles, so now we're only 6 minutes gone to be booked. That means he'll have to just try and calm his game down a little bit. You know, he has gone and tried to get the ball, and the referee's acknowledged that, but, you know, the referee is adamant that it's a yellow card.
Free kick goes into the area. Up comes Stephen Drench. He clears the ball, gets it away with a punch, but it's only as far as Owen, and Owen gets the ball back in down the left channel as Leamington come forward once again. 83 minutes my golden goal number had on it. I was only 80 minutes out. I thought it would be tighter after the game down at Leamington. Guiseley now have brought the ball over the halfway line. No chance so far. It's been fairly open stuff. Jake Lawler with the ball for Guiseley inside the centre circle. Out to the right-hand side where Holdsworth collects. Forward now to Rothery. Rothery lays it back into the feet of Brooksby. Guiseley playing triangles but not making any headway on the halfway line. Holdsworth chips one over, up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson gets it down. Can't get the ball through to Boschel. Leamington clear. Out for a throw. Bauer collects it very comfortably. And then gives it to the throw taker, which is in this instance Andy Holdsworth. Throw taker, that's quite an Americanism, isn't it? Guiseley now have the ball at the back line, but they're being closed down well by Danny Newton. Not giving him a chance. In the end, Gavin Rothery has earned a free kick rather, after just getting in contact from his man. Guiseley picked the ball up. Could do with getting this ball in that final third after that bright couple of minutes. Ever since Leamington have got the goal, it's been all really the visitors who've dictated things.
Well, yes, but you've got to pay credit to Leamington and how they've played, because when they've had the ball, their players have been able to, have time and just pick out a pass. But when they haven't got the ball, they're putting so much pressure on every Guiseley player so far, and it's a technique that you can't really play for 90 minutes, but it's working. It's worked so far in the opening 10.
Of course, Leamington, who started very poorly, have done well since then. The ball just being shadowed back to the goalkeeper by Ben Parker. It held up in the damp turf and almost gave Newton another chance to get through. Now it's up here on the left-hand side with Kevin Holsgrove. He's going to have a run at the full-back, gets in towards the edge of the area, has a chance to get a shot away with his right foot. It's a good one, just over the crossbar. A really good, well-worked effort from Kevin Holsgrove. Took the ball past two defenders. It fell kindly for him. He lined up the shot, but he hit it with all the power you'd expect. It curled, but just went over the crossbar and behind for a goal kick.
Well, after last season, I've seen what Holsgrove can do, and just the way he cut inside, you could tell he was aiming for the shot. Surprisingly, that's the first time no Leamington players really pressurised a Guiseley player, and it meant that Holsgrove had just enough time to pick out where he was trying to get the ball, but it just goes wide. But the keeper was worried, and it's a promising sign for Guiseley to hopefully get back into this match.
Nodded on here by Wayne Brooksby. The ball goes forward back into Guiseley's half. Stephen Drench has to be live to it. Comes off his goal line once again. Plays a sweeper. Gets it up to Holsgrove. Holsgrove finds Rothery. This is better from Guiseley. Holsgrove takes it in. Holsgrove's flattened off ball by Joe Magunda. The referee waves it away. Indeed, there isn't too much complaint from the Guiseley players. Picked up here by Ben Parker. And Leamington have held a really good shape and forced Guiseley all the way back into their back line. It's a long one forward by Danny Ellis. Picked up now by Danny Boschel on the halfway line. Boschel into the feet of Rothery. And Rothery sends it back to Jake Lawler. Guiseley just struggling to get more headway into this Leamington 11, who are defending very stoutly at the moment and make a good tackle on Wayne Brooksby. Now can come on the counter-attack here on the right-hand side. It's Matt Dodd. He's charging in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Can he get the ball into the area? He's shadowed well by Ben Parker. He goes to ground, and the linesman on the far side decides that that's a foul. And Guiseley will now have to defend a free kick in quite a dangerous position. I don't know what you thought about that, Tom.
Yeah, it looked just a little bit harsh there, because Matt Dodd, he'd made a really good run, but he just seemed to be losing his balance before Ben Parker made any contact. And Parker then does make a little nudge, and he goes down, and, the linesman's insisting that it was a free kick, and, it's such a dangerous position, and this is a brilliant chance for Leamington to double their lead.
Peter Till with a free kick on the right-hand side. Just a few yards from the penalty area. Gets the ball whipped in across the edge of the 6-yard box. Picked up on the edge by Craig Owen. He volleys it, but it's way over and not really what Leamington would have been hoping for. I said I was going to go through the subs bench, but I haven't had a chance to really in the first sort of 11 minutes. Danny Hall, Danny Forrest, Ollie Johnson, Adam Boys on the Lions bench along with Stephen Dickinson. So a return potentially in the offing for Danny Hall, which will be well received. Ricky Johnson, Josh Green, Aaron Vint, Lee Moore and David McNamee for Leamington. Now Guiseley come down the left-hand side. Kevin Holsgrove goes past one defender, plays a good ball into the area towards Gavin Rothery. Rothery collects it, gets it back to Holsgrove, in towards Alex Johnson. He takes a swing of the foot, but he can't connect with it. And it's cleared by Leamington up towards the halfway line. Picked up now by Danny Newton, the goal scorer. He sprays the ball out to the left-hand side. And there's a chase on here from Peter Till, but he's never going to get to that. And it's gone out in touch for a throw into Guiseley.
Fantastic chance there for Guiseley, and it's brilliant play by Holsgrove, Rothery and Johnson. It's just one of them, because Johnson goes for it with his right foot, and because his left foot's in the way, he just blocks it with that foot, moves it out of the way, and it looks, just a little bit comical, because Johnson is trying to go with his other foot, but just that interlinked play there, it's so positive, and it looks like Guiseley, just starting to find their feet after Leamington scored.
Yeah, 1 or 2 chances since the goal. Guiseley now have a free kick, and they've just got it a few yards inside the Leamington half, but they're getting all of the big men forward up until the edge of the D, so they're going to go long with this. Andy Holdsworth stands over it. Of course, we're trailing, if you're just joining us, by 1-0. Leamington with the early goal, Danny Newton on 3 minutes. Whipped in now by Holdsworth. Up towards Ben Parker. Parker's beaten to it in the air. Down as far as Gavin Rothery. Rothery on the right to Wayne Brooksby. Twists and turns on that right flank. 2 players on him. Can't get past them. Lays it back here to Gavin Rothery. Rothery feeds a ball in intelligently into the pathway of Alex Johnson. Johnson now lays it back into Holdsworth. Guys, he just can't get the ball into the area. Johnson might have a try now, but he's got 2 on him again. But he earns a corner very well. And Guiseley with a second corner of the match.
Clever play there by Johnson, because I think some would have just tried to rush and try and get into the area, but Johnson sees the chance to get a corner, and it's a great chance now for Guiseley.
The corner comes in from the right-hand side up towards Danny Ellis. Ellis with a header, and he has powered that header into the left-hand corner of the net. Guiseley back on level terms. An excellent corner, an excellent header from Danny Ellis, and it's now Guiseley 1, Leamington 1.
Fantastic header there by Danny Ellis. He knows exactly what he's doing. He rises so high in the air, and that head's gone right into the top corner. The keeper's got no chance. And, just building from that clever bit of play by Johnson to get the corner, Guiseley are now level, and it's all to play for.
Well, that's much better, isn't it? Guiseley into the lead now, and the Lions... Guiseley back on level terms, rather. Not getting ahead of myself. After a bit of a sticky patch, literally, actually, in terms of that goal area, in which Leamington had taken an early lead. Danny Ellis, though, with a header, 1 each here on Guiseley Radio, Guiseley AFC Radio. Free kick now. Danny Boschel's not happy with that. Free kick's being given to Leamington, though. Josh Hawker on the receiving end of the challenge, so almost immediately Leamington look to make a response. The captain, Stephen Morley's coming across to take this one.
Well, interestingly, there was no real protest there by any Leamington players for that free kick, so I can understand why Danny's so unhappy. But, another one, it's a good chance when Leamington getting all the big men forward, and, they could maybe get something from this.
From the right-hand side, the ball's whipped in towards the 6-yard box, headed at goal, held by Stephen Drench. And that was almost a chance for Leamington to get back on level terms. It was a good ball into the area, but Guiseley just hadn't seemed to follow the run forward from the big centre-half, Liam Daly. Now Guiseley come on the counter-attack down the right-hand side. Alex Johnson having a run at the centre-half. Cleared into touch. Now Guiseley have a throw level on the right-hand side with the penalty spot. Few options on. Andy Holdsworth comes across to take over throw-in duties. Goes it into the feet of Holsgrove. Holsgrove powers off his man, lays it back to Holdsworth. It's out here on the right-hand side with Brooksby. He's a run in field. Takes a shot with the left foot. Good shot from Wayne Brooksby. Well held by the goalkeeper, Tony Breeden, though. It was straight at him. He would have been disappointed if it'd been anything else. But now there's almost an immediate counter-attack from Leamington. Ben Parker had to be alive to the danger as the ball was played over the back line. Danny Newton running on, but Parker got there ahead of him. And this time it's out into touch eventually for a throw-in to Guiseley. And we can resume and catch our breath.
Well, it really is end-to-end here, because, Leamington really should have retaken the lead, because Daly, it's a free header and he just can't make enough contact to test Drench. Then Brooksby cuts inside, a good effort, it's a good save, but it's interesting, Breeden, Leamington's keeper, he's worked out that if he clears the ball forward, because it's stopping, it's causing Guiseley's defence quite a few problems, so he keeps doing that. And he keeps getting Leamington a few chances. Well,
it is another case where the pitch is playing its part in the strategy of the game. And I think, Tom, you've called that exactly as it is, really. Another ball down the right-hand side, this time for Guiseley. And the goalkeeper, Breeden, comes out. And he was under some pressure there from Rothery. Rothery did really well to run at him. Almost got the ball ahead of him. Rothery collects now, just plays it a little bit too far ahead of Holdsgrove. Holsgrove. His presence unnerves the Leamington defender, and it's out for a throw-in for Guiseley, about level with the edge of the 18-yard box.
Well, this will be a good chance there. Just that pass there, there's just a little bit too much on it. If there wasn't, with 1 or 2 players in the area, there could be a chance there. But this throw-in, it's in a good position.
The throw-in taken on the right-hand side into the feet of Holsgrove. He turns, gets the ball into the area, well defended by Daly, gets the ball up to the edge of their 18-yard box before Leamington hoof one clear, and Newton already looking to try and get on the end of it, but well defended between Parker and Ellis. Picked up now by Danny Boschel and Jake Lawler in midfield. Guys are just holding on to possession and then try to thread the ball through to Alex Johnson. Bit much for him to do on this occasion. The ball sent back to Stephen Drench. And Drench, rather aimless this time, sends it towards the Leamington backline, and eventually it's returned all the way back to Stephen Drench. And then Drench hits touch with his clearance. And it always makes me nervous when the ball comes flying towards the stand with our kit that's up here. But this time it's harmlessly out, but Leamington do have a throw in the halfway line. Thrown forward, up towards Josh Hawker. Beaten to it this time, headed away by Jake Lawler. Taken down now by Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby flicks the ball forward really well, gets Alex Johnson. Johnson can't twist the ball past Daly. His physical presence was enough this time to win the ball. And at the moment, it looks to be a bit of a problem for Alex Johnson in all of that. It was Liam Daly who called for it. And they've knocked the ball out into touch of Leamington. And Alex Johnson just has a moment, a breather. I think he must have got a clip there, Tom.
Yeah, well, he just tried to run it off and he went straight down. He was holding his knee, but, you know, he does seem to be walking that off now. But, yeah, I just think he just got caught on his knee, tried to walk it off, realised the pain was there and just thought it'd be best to go to the floor, get the ball out of play and just, you know, just get a few steps and make sure everything's all right.
Quite a few games in the Skrill North this evening are going on. Try and keep an eye out for score lines, as we might be able to see them via Twitter. At the moment, Leamington have the ball. Big game, of course, between Colwyn Bay and Harrogate Town. That's one to keep an eye out. And Barrow and teams all around. There's so many involved. Guiseley now making really good headway down this right-hand flank. Kevin Holsgrove has a man to beat. Can't quite do it on this occasion. Good defending from James Mace. Guiseley have a throw-in, though, once again, coming forward with some real intention there.
Well, once again, Holsgrove, you know, the Leamington defence, they don't like to get near him because they know, although he's got so much power, he's also got a lot of pace, so they're having to just, you know, try and hold their ground. And again, it's a good move by Holsgrove, and again, just trying to get that ball forward and getting some...
Whipped in now here, goes in towards the 6-yard box. Guiseley just pick up the ball. I was waiting for your finish, Tom. And on the immediate counter-attack, Newton almost goes through once again for Leamington, but this time, actually, it was a good few yards ahead of him, and it's gone quite comfortably to the goalkeeper. 1-1 if you're just joining us here on Guiseley AFC Radio. And we've had an entertaining start to this game, 21 minutes gone, and at the moment, level pegging. Leamington took the lead with an early goal from Danny Newton, got in between Danny Ellis and Stephen Drench, poked the ball past the oncoming keeper. And then a good header from Danny Ellis from a corner, levelled things a few moments later. Now Leamington come forward here. Matt Dodd goes in for the challenge with Ben Parker. Does that thing where they lean into the player and then looks like he's been pushed over. But referee David Richardson not having any of it. But it is a corner for Leamington. And this, again, another dangerous moment for Guiseley.
Well, with the amount of height that Leamington have, yeah, of course it is. And, you know, just from that last chance where Leamington had a free header, it's a case of Guiseley now having to try and man mark.
Corner comes in, up towards the back post where Daly's there. He gets a header in, just somehow headed wide. And I think it took a deflection because Daly hit it without real conviction. It bounced down towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Nobody quite on it. I think a Guiseley player managed to touch it behind. Yeah,
it's Jake Lawler who's touched it behind. He's trying to kick it out for a throw-in. He's just mishit it. It's hit off the outside of his foot, and it's actually just clipped the side netting on the way out.
Leamington with the corner from the left-hand side, whipped in this time towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Danny Newton was the man on the end of it, but his header was pretty poor, actually. Heads it straight behind for a goal kick. And that will be disappointment, won't it, to Leamington, those two corners?
Well, yeah, because on both occasions they've actually found themselves with a free header. On that time, though, Danny Newton, it's a free header. It's a real good chance, not too far away from goal, and he's just headed it the wrong way, and it goes safely out of play for a goal kick.
Clearance by Stephen Drench. Flicked on up towards Gavin Rothery. Rothery nods it on, picked up now by Alex Johnson. Immediately 2 or 3 players around him. Does well to get the ball away from himself, but can't direct the target towards Kevin Holsgrove. Now here comes that man Dodd again down the right-hand side. Beats 2 players, goes in towards the area, flings himself to the ground. Nothing given. And now the ball's cleared up towards Holsgrove. Holsgrove turns past his defender, which is Higgins. Holsgrove up against Higgins. Holsgrove has a run, gets it onto the left foot, lets it for Wayne Brooksby to take over, and Brooksby goes down towards the byline, gets the ball into the penalty area, tries to feed it across the edge of the 6-yard box. In the end, it's too close to the goalkeeper, Tony Breeden, who collects. And another good move here by Guiseley. Breaks down, but only at the very end, and all in all, it just continues to be this open end-to-end game.
Yeah, another chance where Guiseley could have taken the lead. Holsgrove there, yet again, everything Guiseley are doing well. It seems to be going through Holsgrove. Nice bit of play there. And, you know, Brooksby there, it's kind of a pass, it's kind of a shot, but it's good keeping by Breeden, because if he had dropped it, it would have been a goal for Guiseley, because Jake Lawler was right by him and he was ready to tap the ball home if the ball had gone out of the keeper's arms.
Throw into Leamington in the end. We've had a goal here that Stockport County have gone a goal up, and they have just taken the lead, and I think Hensford are a goal behind this evening. I'll just try and find me notes of as to who's playing who, though, and we'll bring you the scores. At the moment, it's a throw-in on the left-hand side for Leamington. You're not missing much. The ball hasn't made much headway. Guiseley managed to get the ball back on the halfway line with Alex Johnson. Before Leamington win possession back and go down the right-hand side here with Craig Owen. On the left, Leamington still with some patient build-up play here. They find Dodd. Dodd has been at the heart of many movements forward so far. Cuts back, puts the ball into Higgins. Higgins gets it into the area. It's headed away. And eventually a rather clumsy attempt from Craig Owen hands possession back to Guiseley. Guiseley feed the ball forward with Danny Boschel, but an uncharacteristically poor pass from Boschel. Hands possession back to Leamington, but in the end they can't do much with it. They've just sent it downfield, and it's picked up by the goalkeeper Stephen Drench. And in exchange of generosity, he just puts it out to their goalkeeper. It's breathless at the moment, though, because no sooner do the goalkeepers get it, you're thinking, crikey, now where's it going? Guiseley still can't get on the end of anything. The ball sort of whipping forward and backwards between the two backlines. Stephen Drench gets it to his feet, lofts it long. Daly nods it back, but this time it's a poor one. Chance for Gavin Rothery to run with it, just overhits it. Mace stepped across just at the right time and clears for Leamington. Leamington have the ball in the halfway line now. But a heavy challenge here from Danny Boschel trying to win the ball back. Doesn't do so on this occasion, though. Dodd comes away with the ball down on the right-hand side. Good movement from Leamington. Gets the ball into the overlapping right back, Higgins. Higgins steps away, has to go back towards the byline, but does cut back in field really well. Can he get the shot away? He does on the left foot. Easily blocked by Danny Ellis. Not his favoured foot, clearly. And in the end, Holsgrove, defending on the edge of the D, gets the ball forward up towards the Leamington back line. Is there a chance for a breather for a moment?
Well, I just think when you look at the state of the pitch at the moment, it is a case of both keepers just trying to get the ball forward, keep the ball in the air for as long as possible. And, both sides, they look like they know how to play on this pitch. And it's going to be, plenty more chances, you can say that for a fact. And just interestingly, Matt Dodd, the amount of times he gets on the ball, he's cutting inside, he's getting crosses in, he's looking really dangerous.
Dodd's now just got another one of these crosses in towards the edge of the 18-yard box. The ball's laid back here to Morley. Morley picked up by Danny Newton, cleared and tackled rather by Lawler. And in the end, knocked out into touch for a throw.
Well, again, just with the way the pitch is, Jake Lawler there, he thinks because the pitch is the way it is, he needs to get plenty of power in his pass. Instead, he kicks it straight out of play and gives Leamington possession back.
So Stockport leading 1-0 against Barrow. Gainsborough Trinity leading by 1-0 against Solihull Moors. Hensford are now 1 each. And there's no goals, I think, between the games involving Histon and Gloucester and Harrogate and Colwyn Bay. Meantime, we've got a free kick to Guiseley inside their own half. Launched long down the left-hand side. Alex Johnson Looks like he's being bundled over there by Daly, but nothing's been given. And now Jake Lawler takes over with Danny Boschel on the halfway line. Holdsworth and Boschel combine. Play it forward into Jake Lawler. And Guiseley just holding on to the ball, not making any headway. Plays it in towards Gavin Rothery, but it's well won back by Craig Owen. And now here's a counter-attack again from Leamington. Good movement, work down that left-hand side. Newton skips past Ellis, gets a shot away. Well blocked, though, by Andy Holdsworth, who made an all-important tackle, but it's gone behind for a corner.
Clever play by Vine Newton. And Holdsworth, you know, all the experience he has, he knows what's going on, and it's a good tackle. But Leamington, they're looking dangerous as guys, and it really is just a case of it being end-to-end. If Leamington have an attack, guys will have attack straight after, and that's just the way it's going.
Leamington with the corner, whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Daly, the target man once again. Stephen Drench out this time. Collects well, releases it quickly, trying to get Alex Johnson away. Johnson turns his man. Oh, the ball just bounced back off his back and into a very kind position for Ryan Higgins after he'd done some really good positional play, Alex Johnson. And guys, they almost found themselves through one-on-one with a goalkeeper.
Well, Higgins, it's a sigh of relief for him because he misjudges where the ball's going, and it nearly falls to Johnson. And Johnson one-on-one with Breeden. I'd like to think Johnson would score. So it's would have been a brilliant chance for Guiseley, but just got a bit unlucky there, Johnson. But do it again by Drench, you never know.
It's been so close on a number of occasions, hasn't it? Just that final ball, final touch. Now guys, come forward here. Danny Boschel, poor ball forward. And another goals going in around the blue square, the Skrill North even. We'll come to those in a minute because Dodd comes forward, but Jake Lawler's just intercepted and sent the ball into the feet of Kevin Holsgrove, who goes towards the edge of the area, but well defended now by Higgins, returning. Holsgrove picks it up, though, once again, despite the tackle, gets the ball into the area, plays it in towards Alex Johnson. Johnson's got a hand in his back by Mace, but the referee not interested. Johnson has to go all the way back to Andy Holdsworth. There's a big shout there for a moment for a penalty. Back here to Danny Boschel. He whips the ball into the area. It's a poor ball collected by the goalkeeper. Just before we get your thoughts, Altrincham now by, lead by a goal. Workington 1, Oxford City 0. And there's a leveller in the game between Gainsborough Trinity and Solihull Moors. Junior English has scored, so that's 1-1.
Well, Alex Johnson there, he thinks this is a penalty. He looks right at the referee and puts his arms in the air. He's appealing for it. You know, there is a little pull of the shirt, there's a hand on the back, and, you know, I have seen them given. I do think it would have been soft, but I have seen them given. Now
there's a chance here for Leamington. They're making some headway down this right-hand side once again. The man at the heart of it is Dodd. He's skipping past Danny Boschel. Then there's a challenge in on him, which looked like it might result in a free kick, to be fair. And in the end, Rhys Maynell's tackle's judged to be fine, and it's gone back in for a goal kick.
Well, Matt Dodd's gone down 3 times in that particular area. On the first time it was given, on the second time it wasn't, but the referee seemed to think about it. On that occasion, I thought that was a free kick. I think Maynell has gone in, he's just caught him. And, you know, Matt Dodd, he is just having a word with referees, just saying, you know, I think that's a free kick, because it did look like he was caught.
Boy who cried wolf, classic example, that one, wasn't it? Stephen Drench with the goal kick up to the halfway line. Taken away by Stephen Morley. Forward, intercepted by Holdsworth. Cleared, taken down well by Newton, but hits it a little bit too far ahead of him. And it goes all the way back to Stephen Drench. He clears up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson does well to get the ball down, feeds it into Rothery. Rothery out to the left-hand side where Holsgrove, who has done so well down that flank. This time, his cross blocked back, but Holsgrove wins it back. Muscles past his man. Eventually, the fullback wins it. And Holsgrove goes down clutching his ankle. He's got some sort of problem here. And comes away with Dodd. Dodd then runs it out into touch. Goalkeeper comes straight out to have a look at Holsgrove, and they're calling on the physio. Just seemed to lose possession, didn't he, for a moment? Went in for the tackle. No malice whatsoever in anything that happened. And then he went straight to the ground.
Well, yeah, he just tried to get the ball, and he just seemed to catch a piece of the turf because the piece just flew in the air. when he went in and he's gone down. It does look like he's caught his ankle. There's a Leamington player down as well. And it just seems like the turf may be just causing one or two problems for the players. But a bit of concern for Holsgrove because Martin's come straight on the physio and he looks just a little concerned as well. He's giving it a bit of a feel just to see how much pain Kevin's in. And it'd be a shame because Kevin really has been making quite an impact on his return to Nethermore.
Well, if you're just joining us, it is Guiseley 1, Leamington 1. It's been a breathless match so far. 34 minutes gone in this game. We've just got a small stoppage whilst Kelvin Holsgrove is getting looked at. He's not comfortable on that right leg that he's clutching, his lower leg, but hopefully he'll be okay to continue. The throw will be Guiseley's. Sorry, Tom.
Well, yeah, just again, when you look at the pitch now, just how broken up it is in certain parts. With where most of the action is, just how much turf has been taken up, and it does look like in the second half, especially, it will play a part in that game, But Maynell on the ball now, he, just trying to keep the ball in the air and not have the ball on the ground.
Picked up now by Gavin Rothery. Rothery hasn't got the option he thought he had in Kevin Holsgrove for a moment because he's on the touchline, not come back on yet. Plays the ball into Alex Johnson. Johnson does really well, gets a shot away with the right foot, always rising, goes over the crossbar, but it was really well worked from the Guiseley forward, and in the end, unlucky not to have got a better shot away and hit the target.
Well, what's unlucky about it is Johnson is looking for some support, and his support is in Kevin Holsgrove, who's actually not on the pitch at that moment. He wasn't allowed back on. But I think if Holsgrove had been on, it did look like Johnson had the two central defenders. And, he could have just passed it to Holsgrove. Instead, he has to go for the shot. It's always rising, never really going to cause a problem. But it's encouraging for Guiseley that they are just making one or two more chances as the game goes on.
Now Leamington come forward. It's Morley. Takes the ball over the centre circle. Plays the ball in towards Peter Till. Till lays it back to Leamington. In the end, it's gone out for a throw-in to Guiseley. It's been another goal in the Skrill North. And it's Harrogate Town who've taken the lead. Playing Colwyn Bay this evening. Dominic Rose scored. Some big games down the bottom as well. Workington 1, Oxford City 0. That's a heck of a midweek trek, isn't it? Leamington get us back underway. And they have the ball with Newton on the left flank. He's now got down to the byline. He opts to go back. The ball is whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Joe Magunda was waiting underneath it, but Guiseley managed to get ahead, and Ben Parker. But it's out towards Dodd. Dodd does really well, gets the ball back into the area. Guiseley have to defend in numbers once again because Josh Hawker was looking to get a shot away, but he was blocked by two players very quickly after great work from Dodd. In the end, Guiseley get it up to the halfway line and look like they'll win a throw after Craig Owen knocks the ball out of play.
Just there, Leamington, it was a fantastic opportunity because Josh Hawker, if he could get contact, he really was in a position where he could have been one-on-one. It just seemed to bobble just while he was going to make that touch. Goes past him and Guiseley are able to clear, but the signs are there that there will be more goals, and it looks like both sides really are in a position where they will be creating plenty more chances.
Well, Guiseley have the ball on their own half and now play a lovely ball down the right-hand side. Picks up Alex Johnson. Johnson's got 2 or 3 players ahead of him, so he can't get past them all. Tries to play an intelligent ball into the feet of Brooksby, but well defended by Leamington. Picked up, though, by Andy Holdsworth now in the second phase. Jake Lawler out to the right-hand side. Gavin Rothery just pokes the ball through towards Kevin Holsgrove, who seems to be moving freely on the right flank this time. Rothery tries to trick his way through 2 players. Is taken down just on the edge of the area. Good work from Gavin Rothery. He's down on the ground at the moment, but I think there'll be another card here. And Leamington, this time on the receiving end of it, guides with a free kick in a dangerous position.
Fantastic play there by Rothery because, he looked like he was just going to have a shot, and he just realised if he ran forward a little bit more, there could be the potential to either get into the area or get tackled. And, he's just taken out. Rothery's just getting up now. He seems all right, but nice bit of trickery there by Rothery, and a fantastic opportunity now with this free kick, and 1 or 2 Guiseley players in position to take it.
Gloucester City 1, Histon 0. That's a big scoreline. Guiseley now with a free kick. It's about a yard out of the edge of the 18-yard box. And Guiseley now have a chance to really power this. It's not far from the D on the right-hand side. Standing over it are two players, one of which is Andy Holdsworth. Another one appears to be Reece Maynell. The ball blasted in towards a goal. It goes through. It's well parried by the goalkeeper. Eventually battered away and out for a throw-in on the right-hand side. And a great free kick there. Good power on it. Well held by the goal. Well blocked by the goalkeeper and well defended.
Good play there by Guiseley. Fantastic free kick by Maynell. And Breeden gets lucky because he parries it out, and Jake Lawler's the nearest man to it. He could have got a foot onto it. Just passes him. But a good chance there for Guiseley.
Maynell now picks the ball up on the left-hand side from the throw. Blocked this time. It's going to be another throw. And Guiseley have beginning to turn the screw. Reece Maynell about level with the edge of the 18-yard box with the throw. Plays it in towards the area where Gavin Rothery's got the ball. He has to go away from the penalty area. Does earn a corner, though. And this will be a good opportunity again to get some bodies forward and the ball in the box.
Well, yeah, when you've got the likes of Danny Ellis and Jake Lawler running forward to get into the area, you know you've got plenty of height.
The ball whipped in up towards the back post, just over Danny Ellis. Goes behind the referee, points for the goal kick. Disappointing delivery in the end from Wayne Brooksby, just too high.
A little bit of a waste there because Brooksby's aiming for Danny Ellis, but it's a good foot over Ellis's head while he's jumping. So a bit of a waste there because, scored from the corner, Ellis, and it just could have been one of them again because Ellis only had one other man near him, a Leamington player near him, and if the ball was just a little bit lower, I think Ellis would have made contact, and if he had, you never know.
Leamington just poked the ball forward from the goal kick, but Guiseley pick it up, and Alex Johnson alive to a kind bounce that took the ball away from Daly. Defended well by Leamington, but only as far as Gavin Rothery. Rothery feeds the ball through to Johnson. Johnson's offside. Well saved by the goalkeeper anyway, Breeden, who saved bravely at his feet, furious with his back line. But Johnson just a yard off when the ball was played through by Gavin Rothery. Great move again from Guiseley, though. Well,
just a little bit more comedy as well, because Leamington defender, he's gone to kick the ball and he just kicks a piece of turf instead. Gives it to Rothery, who's able to feed it through to Johnson. He is just offside. He tries to time the run, but there's no complaints with the flag going up because he was just about half a yard offside. Just timed that run a little bit better, it would have been a fantastic chance. And I've got to say, Breeden, it's a good save by him because he didn't realise the flag had gone up.
Goalkeeper takes it long, headed away by Ellis. Picked up in the middle of the park. Wayne Brooksby should have won it, but Leamington have. This time it's Owen. He tries to feed the ball through the centre of the Guiseley defence, but it's easily defended and sent out towards the right-hand side where Holsgrove is doing his stuff at the moment, tries to run past Matt Dodd, and in the end it's cleared out into touch. Guiseley have a throw-in. A couple of goals to tell you about. Stockport County are now 2-0 up against Barrow. And Junior English has got a second for Solihull Moors against Gainsborough Trinity. So they're 2-1 up there. So Barrow not having a good afternoon. A good evening even. I don't know what their afternoon was like. Guiseley have a throw on the right-hand side. Still 1-1 here between Guiseley and Leamington. The Lions getting back on level terms after Leamington took an early lead. Now they've got the ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. It's gone past everyone. And what a surprise that is. The goal has come from absolutely nothing. Just a throw-in on the right flank, a cut-in, a grass cutter of a shot. I'm not even sure who took it. Was it Kevin Holsgrove? It beat everybody, and a rather disappointing goal from a Leamington perspective, but we don't care. Guiseley have the second. It's Guiseley 2, Leamington 1.
Well, Kevin Holsgrove, he's looked to manage throughout the first half, and just when he cuts inside, I just thought, is he going to shoot? Because there were no players coming near him. He's taken the shot. It just seems to take a little deflection. And Breeden's got no chance. It's gone right into the corner. And, it feels like a goal out of nothing because it just looked like no real pressure was on and there was no real threat. But it's a goal just before half-time, and it's just what Guiseley needed. 2-1 going into half-time would be lovely.
Oh, we'll take that, won't we, Tom?
I think we will, yes.
Ball forward, cleared by Reece Maynell. Up towards the halfway line. Holsgrove gets it again. Causing them an all-told problem. This time he's dribbling past Morley. Goes down that right flank. Morley sticks at his work. Eventually gets the ball away. Cleared by Andy Holdsworth, though, and sent back in towards Gavin Rothery on the right-hand side. Plays it in towards Holsgrove. Holsgrove turns his man down on the right-hand side. He can get the ball into the area. He's waiting for bodies to join him in the box. Plays it up to the back post. A great one towards Brooksby, who heads back across goal, looking for Alex Johnson. Goalkeeper Tony Breedy come off his line very well, and then it's collected by the keeper and sent upfield.
Well, Brooksby there, he's decided to head it across goal to try and find Johnson. If he had tried to go back to the near post and actually had a head on goal, it might have been just a little bit more of a challenge for Breeden. But, it's a good bit of teamwork there, and Johnson immediately puts his hand up and thanks Brooksby for trying to find him with the pass. And it's just a nice bit of flying action between the attacking players at Guiseley during the first half.
Well, an equaliser for Histon. Charlie Day. No, it's 1-1. Oh, no, sorry. Charlie Day has come close, sorry. I'm reading. So it's still 1-0 to Gloucester. But Barrow have got a goal back at Stockport. So it's Stockport 2, Barrow 1. Stockport, of course, the visitors next Tuesday night, as we go a double header against the Hatters. Stockport here on the Tuesday, and then we travel to Edgeley Park on the Saturday. Meanwhile, Guiseley have the ball on the edge of their own area. Ellis slips as he makes a clearance, but to no concern, because Guiseley still collect it. Kevin Holsgrove enjoying his time this evening now, sprays the ball out towards Wayne Brooksby. This time headed clear, picked up by Maynell. Maynell plays a long one forward, looking to pick out Alex Johnson. It's cleared, launched into Guiseley's half and falls back to Stephen Drench.
I was going to say, after 3 minutes, I think Mark Bauer would be delighted to have gone in leading this game, because, Leamington have looked really dangerous during this first half. They've had their chances. They could have easily got 2 or 3 more goals. But it's a case of Guiseley have just turned the screw during the last, 20 minutes of the half. And I think on balance of play, maybe a little bit biased, but I do think it's fair that Guiseley are going in the lead.
Yeah, a little bit biased, I think, is absolutely, goal credit to us. I think we've been the better side. But, I mean, it's one of those games when you can imagine a goal coming from both teams. Leamington certainly have looked dangerous.
Yeah, they most certainly have. They've had 1 or 2 real good chances from corners, and 1 or 2 free headers as well. And if Danny Newton had been able to direct his header on goal, that would have been another goal.
Poor clearance from the goalkeeper. We were just at a bit of a lull. Then he's given the ball straight to Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby's undone by a bobble, and then the ball's picked up by Dodd. And Dodd uncharacteristically takes a slip. Gavin Rothery tries to take the ball back quickly for a throw. Guiseley now have a throw in just inside the Leamington half. Picked up here by Brooksby, and good combination between him and Maynell. Rothery tries to lay the ball infield in the penalty area. Cut out well by Craig Owen. Knocked out for a throw-in. Still good work here from Guiseley down this left channel. Just before the break. Picked up now by Rothery. If he can get the ball into the area. There is 2 players in there. Maynell and Rothery just to continue the triangular passing down the right flank. And eventually Brooksby opts to go all the way back to Danny Boschel and Danny Ellis. Guiseley send it all the way back to Stephen Drench, and you thought they might have tried to get the ball into the penalty box as we head towards the break. But none of it. Long clearance from Stephen Drench, flicked on by Gavin Rothery. Looks like he did take a little nudge, but the referee's not interested. Leamington launch it clear down the channels and using them so effectively as they've done this half. Danny Newton closes down Ben Parker, but Parker and Stephen Drench show cool feet, but Parker's ultimate clearance isn't so good, and Craig Owen picks it up. No avail, though, because the half-time whistle goes, and it's been a very entertaining first 45. We might not have had too much football here at Nethermore in 2014, but we finally got our first Guiseley goals, 2 of them in fact. Danny Newton got the opener for Leamington on 3 minutes, and it looked like it was going to be another miserable evening for the Lions. But we got back onto level terms. It was Danny Ellis from a corner, headed the ball into the top left-hand corner, and then Kevin Holsgrove, just before the break, got the ball on the left foot on the edge of the area, took a shot, took a deflection, took it into the left-hand corner, and Guiseley have been well-deserved leaders at the break. They lead here by 2-1, Tom.
Yeah, well, what a fantastic game of football it has been. So many chances for both sides, and it really could have been 5-5 going into half-time. I think Mark will be delighted with just how well some of these attacking players have played, especially Holsgrove. But the interlinking play between Johnson, Holsgrove and Rothery's really been a joy to see, and the amount of chances they've been able to create, that attacking free, has been really effective. As for Leamington, they really could have got a couple more goals. They've looked dangerous, they've been able to counter-attack effectively, and, like I said before, on another day they probably would have one or two more goals.
Yeah, it's been an entertaining 45. You're right that Leamington could easily have found the back of the net on a couple of occasions. Had fortune been more favouring them in the final third. But Guiseley, likewise, it's been a good performance. You think the manager Mark Bowie will be happy with what he's seen in the first 45?
I think he'll be delighted, because it's just the way the Guiseley players have been able to adapt to the pitch. It has cut up a little bit. There are a few pieces of turf that have gone flying, but Guiseley, the opening 5 minutes, although Guiseley did look, like they were attacking, they just didn't look like they'd got used to how to play on this pitch. It's quite an uneven surface, and it reminded me just a little bit of the Worcester game, which was Guiseley's last game here, and it was a game that Guiseley lost, and it was just about the way that Guiseley just didn't seem to like to play here. But they've just changed the game during the last 25 minutes, and it's worked for them. They've been getting forward, they've been attacking, keeping the ball in the air, not having to try and play the pretty football, which Guiseley can play, but you have to play that on a good surface. And it's just been a case of Guiseley now, they've gone in 2-1. Mark had said beforehand that he thought there'd be quite a few goals, and you know what, I think he'll be right.
Yeah, it certainly has been. There was, when we played them back at the New Windmill late last year, 3-2 was the scoreline on that occasion. You wouldn't go beyond expecting a similar scoreline tonight, would you, really?
Well, no, I've seen Leamington play once or twice before, and I think, they're a good attacking side, and, Guiseley, of course, are a good attacking side, and just that element, neither side are holding back. It has been a case of one side attacks, the other side attacks straight after, and, it's a really enjoyable game of football, and it really has been a joy to see.
It's been a while since we saw Kevin Holsgrove here at Nethermore. Of course, he's played twice, lasted 60 minutes on both occasions away from home, and made a mark in both of those games, really impressed, certainly against Histon on Saturday. He was one of the more positive players. His physical presence obviously helped on the boggy pitch. Tonight, though, he's been a real handful, hasn't he? He's been irrepressible, really, but hugging both flanks, taking on players, and of course his goal was well deserved, and before that he'd taken a couple of shots that had just gone wide of the mark.
I don't think anyone's doubting Kevin's ability. He's a fantastic player, especially at this level. Unfortunately, when he joined Halifax, he just hasn't got the game time he thought he would, so that hence he's been taken off midway through the second half. But tonight he looks like he's really enjoying himself. He's been pushing the Leamington defence to their limits, and the way he's been linking up with Alex Johnson, that's good to see, because, just one or two times where it was little 1-2s between both of them, fantastic to see. But Holsgrove, it's a well-taken goal. It's, fantastic to see him get a goal, another goal for Guiseley. But just one of them games where Holsgrove, I think he can make a bit more of an impact during the second half, and you never know, may be able to get another goal or two.
Yeah, it's, of course, and I think we'll keep going through this break, if that's all right, Tom, just so if you're tuning in you don't lose us. Of course, Holsgrove has been a really big return, a big addition to the squad. Alex Johnson has dropped to the bench in the last couple of games. This first 45, he's certainly looked the part as well, hasn't he, and getting his starting berth back.
Yeah, and I think that's what Alex Johnson plays for. He loves to get game time. He's not one of these players that enjoys sitting on the bench. He likes to get physical. And he is the right kind of player to play today, because the Leamington defence, they're quite physical. They like to press. And that's exactly what Alex Johnson loves to do himself. And the amount of times he was going and trying to just confront the Leamington centre-backs, leaning into them a little bit, getting pushed. It's that kind of game, and it's a game in which both Johnson and the Leamington defence play, and it's made for a good bit of a spectacle. And I think, again, if he can continue that for another 45 minutes, he's got to be in Mark's mind to start on Saturday.
Yeah, he's obviously trying to swap things around, is Mark. I mean, I asked him the other week about Ollie Johnson because Ollie Johnson came off the bench with great effect against Brackley last Tuesday. Scored a marvellous goal. When he got the ball, he was willing to run. He knew what to do with the ball. You know, he could beat a player, but also could distribute and showed his distribution skill really well. And I said, you know, is he going to be an impact sub? And Mark said, no, well, obviously he's got to get him over his current amount of injuries, help him back to full fitness because he's had such a long time out of the game. But, you know, a player of his quality, you'd want him on for the full 90. And you think as this season will go along, he's a player who's going to be starting games. He has started one or two. And he's one to certainly watch. Certainly this evening, if we get 30 minutes out of him, he'll be a big difference. Yeah,
well, he most certainly will. I think the problem with Ollie is he's, you know, for 2 years he's really had problems with his groin, and you know, he says he was telling me that he was hoping and praying that he could just get to the end of this season and not have another injury and then move on to next season. But, you know, he's got so much quality, and if Mark is able to just use him correctly, give him the odd 90 minutes, but use him as a sub for most of the time, I think that's the best way to use him, just to make sure he doesn't get any little knocks. You know, he will be a fantastic player, and against this Leamington defence, they're trying to be physical. You know, Johnson has just got that little bit of that touch that can just maybe break through the Leamington defence. And, you know, with half an hour to go, if it's still 2-1, it wouldn't shock me if Alex is taken off and Ollie's brought on and it's a swap for the Johnsons.
Yeah, well, Adam Boyes is another player, of course, on the bench. Like you say, he's had sort of a mixed fortunes, really. I think he's played well when he's been on the field. Some of his touches have been great. Some of his positional play has been superb. But he's just not had the fortune in front of the goal. And on Saturday, goodness knows how he didn't score, but he had an opportunity that somehow was just turned on to the inside of the post, rolled back across the face of the goal and went wide. And when it's not with you, the fortune's not with you, is it, when you're a striker?
Well, I think there are some high-profile cases, Fernando Torres and players like that, where, you know, you just think...
He wouldn't get into this side, would he?
Well, I don't think he would. I think he'd be struggling to make the bench with the likes of Adam Boyes and Ollie Johnson on there. But, you know, Adam Boyes has got so much quality, especially at this level. You know, he's someone who could easily get into a, you know, Scroll Premier side lower down, I believe that anyway. And, you know, he was unlucky at Gateshead. He was, you know, telling me that he just felt he needed to go somewhere to get some game time. But, you know, it's one of them, Boyes just seem to be one of these confident strikers. If he got a goal tonight, maybe he'd go into Saturday brimming with confidence, and maybe then he'd get a few more. But he's just one of these players. If he can get one, I think he'll get two and then three, and then that'll go on.
Well, it's working out well so far. If you're just joining us at half-time, it is Guiseley who lead by 2-1. 2 goals after Leamington took the lead. Danny Newton scored on 3 minutes. A leveller from Danny Ellis, a great header on 14 minutes. Kevin Holsgrove coming up with the second just before the break on 42. A left-footed shot that took a deflection and went in. It's a good scoreline. Of course, last Tuesday we had a great scoreline against Brackley, 2-1, a good draw against Histon. This next run of fixtures, so important that Guiseley, we'll get some half-time scores shortly, but this next run of fixtures is so important for Guiseley. 3 in a trot at home. Leamington, obviously, this evening. Vauxhall Motors on Saturday in Stockport County. Away at Stockport County. And then another 2 home games, Stalybridge and North Ferriby United. So, you know, in this next rush of March, you know, you would be looking at Guiseley getting right back up there if they were to win these games that they've got in hand. Still a big ask, though, isn't it? Even if 5 of them are at home and one of them was away. Well,
I just think with the amount of games in such a short space of time, you've got to presume that there will be injuries. You know, there will be 1 or 2 players that get a dead leg, can't play one game, and, you know, you've just got to rely on the squad. Mark seems confident with the squad he's got, but I do feel that, you know, I think Mark knows that if he had to try and get 1 or 2 more in because of injuries, he'd be able to do that. You know, it's all about trying to make Nethermore a bit of a fortress during the next month, because there's so many games coming up that are at home. If they can win all the games at home during the next month, it will be a case of being so near them playoffs. And then, you know, you've got 1 or 2 tough away games as well. But, you know, it really is just one of these, it's just a defining month, really. If they can win all these games, get near the playoffs, they can then push on. If they lose a few, it might be a case where Guiseley fans just have to accept that it will be a mid-table finish this season. But for what had happened at the start of the season, I think a lot of fans would take that.
Well, I don't know. I've been sort of in mixed thoughts about that, because you're right, after the Altrincham game, that 4-1 thumping, we were looking at the bottom three and thinking, oh, crikey, Guiseley are in there. We haven't seen that before. And, you know, wondering where our next victory was going to come from. And, of course, it was only 2 days later. It was only Tuesday night, and that wonderful away performance at North Ferriby United. And since then, it was a roller coaster ride of onwards and upwards. But with the promise of playoffs, begins to come an expectation, because we always get there, don't we? You know, we're always in the playoffs, and yeah, we'll always be disappointed. But, you know, surely we'll do it once again. And I think that sort of sense has sort of built up, and then just recently began to dissipate because of the postponements and a couple of bad results that won't be wanted, that you probably would have expected would happen at some point or other in the season. And the combination of those two things means that you just wonder whether it's going to happen. And so, yeah, in short, I kind of agree with you, kind of don't, Tom. Half-time score lines. Let's just give you some of those just before we rejoin the action. Sheffield United in League One lead Peterborough by 1-0. That game into the second half now. Sheffield United, of course, with that big cup quarter-final coming up. Colchester 0, Rotherham 0, Crawley 0. Listen to this, Stevenage 1. Stevenage, who, of course, beat Bradford City on Saturday 3-2, and everyone is expecting City to be in a shoe-in for 3 points. In League 2, Newport 0, Fleetwood 0 is the only game going on in League 2. Of course, England in action tomorrow, so not many fixtures in around league football. And then in the Skrill Conference North, the big one, Colwyn Bay 0, Harrogate Town 1. That Dominic Rowe goal in the first half separating the two sides, so not sure if that's good or bad for Guiseley, really. Gainsborough Trinity 1, Solihull Moors 2. Junior English has bagged 2 for the Moors, who are returning to form this evening with a fine first half performance there. Gloucester 1, Histon 0. Big battle at the bottom. Histon, I felt, were probably a side that you would think would pull away from the bottom three, but Gloucester trying to drag them right back down there. Guiseley 2, Leamington 1 is the game here. Stockport 2, Barrow 1. Stockport were 2-0 up. Barrow have got one back. Stockport, of course, the visitors to Nethermore next Tuesday, so if they start to hit form, Barrow have been in a fine run of games, and I heard on the non-league show somebody saying from Barrow perspective, what's the odds on a team being bottom at Christmas and then winning promotion? Well, might just have to hold your horses on there, Bluebirds. And then Workington 1, Oxford City 0, the other scoreline right at the bottom. Both those teams deep in the mire of the relegation battle, and perhaps already doomed. We are now back out on the field, and the two teams are lining up. Leamington in their gold shirts, black shorts, gold socks. Guiseley, of course, in their white shirts, navy blue socks and shorts. Shorts and socks, yes, I got that right. And the two teams just about to get back underway for the second 45. Leamington kick off, shooting from right to left, and get the ball immediately forward into Guiseley territory. Picked up here by Joe Magunda, and then cut out well by Guiseley's Wayne Brooksby, for being launched into touch by Rhys Maynell.
Well, it does appear it will be same old during the first half. Both sides going for it, both sides attacking. And it's the same during the second half already. We're, 15 seconds in, and already Leamington throwing the ball forward, getting men forward as well. And I bet when Guiseley get the ball back, they'll be doing the same.
Ball goes forward, headed away by Ben Parker. Picked up here by James Mace. Mace lays it back to the goalkeeper. And Breeden lofts it forward up towards the left-hand flank, where it's picked up here by Peter Till. Till knocks it out and claims a throw. Andy Holdsworth does get it and takes it forward up towards Kevin Holsgrove and plays the ball through. Danny Ellis lays it back to the goalkeeper, Stephen Drench. Launched long up towards Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby can't control, and it's picked up now by Ryan Higgins. Higgins takes it down. It's a chance here for Leamington to get a shot away at goal from distance. It was the left foot there. I think it was Josh Hawker who got the final shot away, or rather, sorry, Danny Newton. in the end, the ball's gone over the upright and behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think guys will be happy with that because Danny Newton's quite a way out. He was, he just didn't seem to have any real options, and he was forced into taking the shot. It was always going high and wide. No real, desperation from Steve Drench to dive or to even look like he was going to make a save because it never looked like it was going to trouble him. And, I think guys would be happy with that if they were the kind of attempts during the second half where they're not really going to be on target and, Leamington not pushing the men forward, but I do think that will change.
Ball down here by Leamington, just forced down into their own corner. And as really, Daly has made a woeful error. He's just knocked the ball in for a corner. And the goalkeeper shows his frustration by booting it out. They guys have a corner on the left-hand side as they attack the Leamington goal. So this is a real chance here for a corner to be whipped in and Guiseley to force the pressure. It's whipped in up towards Jake Lawler on the edge of the 6-yard box. And then at the end, Gavin Rothery gets a shot away, takes a deflection from the edge of the 18-yard box. Jake Lawler couldn't get it down in the first instance. The ball fell to Gavin Rothery on the edge of the 18-yard box. His shot takes a deflection, goes behind for a corner.
Well, Rothery thinks that's gone in, and I think nearly every fan does because just couldn't work out where that was going. It's just gone the wrong side of the post, but it's another corner for Guiseley and another chance.
48 minutes gone. Wayne Brooksby to take the corner for Guiseley on the left-hand side as they attack this Leamington goal. And we wait for a moment because there seems to be a bit of argy-bargy in the box. And referee's just calling over two players, one of whom is Kevin Holsgrove, the other is Joe Magunda. The obligatory word has been had. And Guiseley now can resume with this corner. Whipped in towards the goalkeeper. Goes beyond everyone. Nobody gets on the end of it in the end after Guiseley have two white shirts in there that can't get the ball down. Then the ball chipped back into the area by Rhys Maynell, collected by goalkeeper Tony Breeden.
Well, Danny Ellis has really gone to try and get his head onto that ball. He's really unlucky, but I've got to say it's a good tackle by Liam Daly. He knows exactly where the ball was going and he's just been able to block the ball before Ellis was able to get any contact. But it's a decent chance there for Guiseley because, you've got players in the right position, but it's well defended by Leamington.
Throw in for Guiseley, taken inside the Lions' own half. And there's options for them to throw up, but there's a stop for a moment. And it just seems to be something going on between Alex Johnson this time and his opposite number. And the referee, Alex Johnson, and the fullback, Ryan Higgins, just been exchanging words. And eventually we get back underway with the throw. Sent down the left-hand channel. And it's nodded out for another throw. Not the most thrilling passage of play, Tom.
Well, just a little moment there between Johnson and Higgins. It's just a little coming together. There's a handshake at the end of it. I think these are two quite physical players, And just going back to that chance, though, that was that from that corner, Johnson there, the way that he was able to make Daly make that error, just by going up to him and really forcing him into that error. It's great to see by Johnson. And, I think when Alex isn't playing, that's what guys do just seem to like, just that pit bull-like attitude by a striker, and that's exactly what Alex has.
Long ball forward, flicked on, picked up by Danny Ellis. Headed away by Stephen Morley. And guys who pick up the ball inside their own half. Jake Lawler flicks it on to Kevin Holsgrove. Holsgrove just over the halfway line, under pressure from Morley. Two players around him. Eventually they pick the ball up now and have a run at this Guiseley defence. The ball out to the left-hand side towards Peter Till. Peter Till's offside. And Guiseley have a free kick.
Well, it's just another occasion where Leamington, they just seem trying to get into this second half. During that first half, they made such a good start. This half, I think they're just trying something a little bit different. They're keeping one man further back in midfield, and it just means that, the likes of Danny Newton just doesn't have the support he had during that first half. But I do feel, as the game goes on, that will change.
Now, balls with Jake Lawler inside the Leamington half. Plays it out towards Kevin Holsgrove. It's cut out well by Stephen Morley, the Leamington captain, having to contend with Kevin Holsgrove at the start of the second half. Picked up now by Andy Holdsworth. Holdsworth gets it into the edge of the area where Alex Johnson takes a spin on the shot, and then a drive comes in from Rhys Maynell. Nothing like the free kick he took earlier on. That was a good free kick this time. This one skews wide of the mark and goes behind for a goal kick.
Well, you can't blame him for having the shot. It's set up perfectly for him, but always going wide. Nearer the corner flag in the end than the actual goal. But, it's just good to see Guiseley just during the start of this second half getting a few more men forward than Leamington and looking to get that third goal. And, it would be a crucial goal.
Flicked away by Andy Holdsworth. Is there going to be a throw-in now to Leamington? Midway through the Guiseley half on the left-hand side. And it's going to be taken by Stephen Morley. Cuts it infield. Takes the ball back and then crosses. A good ball in towards the danger man Dodd, but he was offside anyway. Stephen Drench collects and is allowed to continue play. Colwyn Bay 1, Guiseley 1. Colwyn Bay 1, Harrogate Town 1. Sorry, Guiseley are still 2-1 up here if you're just joining us on Guiseley AFC Radio. There's now a free kick. You may have heard in the background there a little bit of spectator upset at some of the decisions there, but Guiseley have a free kick. It's inside the Leamington half, about 3 or 4 yards ahead of the centre circle on the left-hand side. Chance to get the big men forward. Free kick to be taken by Wayne Brooksby. 4 or 5 white shirts on the edge of the 18-yard box. This time the ball goes in up towards the edge of the 6-yard box, and the ball is taken away by the goalkeeper. And he clears it, but Guiseley recover possession once again. Great heavy pass forward from Danny Boschel. Great take by Alex Johnson. Takes it down the left-hand side. Has to lay it back into Wayne Brooksby. Brooksby plays it infield, looking for Rothery, just a little bit ahead of him. Defended well. Guiseley now have the ball here with Kevin Holsgrove, who tries to win it on the right-hand side. He's very closely shadowed by Morley, and he's been very closely attended every time, and Morley this time just has a little dig at Holsgrove and concedes a free kick.
It's a nasty tackle there because it's just on the Achilles. He's just scraped him on the Achilles, and, he knows exactly what he's doing, and Holsgrove screamed in pain because it did hurt him, you could tell. But it's another chance. It's a good free kick position this for Maynell to take, and Holsgrove is just trying to walk that bit of pain off.
Free kick to Guiseley out here on the right-hand side, whipped in by Rhys Maynell. The ball cleared by Leamington, now picked up. It could be a dangerous counter-attack here because Danny Newton's just skipped past Ben Parker, goes to the edge of the area, takes a shot just past the upright from Danny Newton. Fantastic work from the Leamington striker. Took it past 2 defenders, caught Guiseley cold for a moment, just got a shot away with power on the left foot, just past the upright and behind for a goal kick.
Well, that's the risk when you put your centre-backs up for a free kick because Maynell's got it horribly wrong and it's just cleared away. Goes to Newton. He's only got 2 men to beat. He's able to beat one. His shot. Well, for a second I thought that was going in, and Steve Drench's dived for that. He was worried as well. And Newton, it's hands on heads because he thought it must have been going on target. But that is a fantastic chance for Leamington, and it's one that they have not taken.
Ball played forward. And it goes all the way back to Stephen Drench. And Stephen Drench just collects it and clears it upfield, up towards Kevin Holsgrove. He gets the flick on. Out goes Alex Johnson. Goes down towards the corner flag. He's having a bit of a battle here with Mace. Gets the ball into the area, Johnson, but nobody really in the position where the ball went to get on the end of it. Guiseley recover the second phase once again here. Jake Lawler and Holdsworth combine. Out wide to Holsgrove. Holsgrove plays it forward into Rothery. Rothery goes to ground under the challenge from Morley. Nothing given. Rothery up swiftly. Gets the throw. I think perhaps he went to ground just a little bit too easy there, Tom.
Yeah, I think he was just looking for it a little bit. Though it did look like he was just caught, but there was no appeal, so I don't think Rothery has too many complaints.
Throw goes in. Now Kevin Holsgrove goes past his man. He gets pulled down, but nothing given this time. Referee actually waves that one away. Holsgrove looks a little frustrated at that and hobbles as he gets back up. Jake Lawler now takes over in midfield. Guiseley spending plenty of time in this Leamington half. Picked up now by Alex Johnson. Johnson infield towards Holsgrove. Picks up the ball from a rebound. Gets it onto the edge of the D. Gets a shot with the left foot. Well held by the goalkeeper. Fairly straight at him. But good work from Holsgrove and Johnson, both combining really well.
Yeah, and it's great work by Holsgrove because it does look like he is in quite a bit of pain. He's been trying to walk it off. He's actually said to the referee a couple of times that he was fouled just outside the area. But Johnson there, he's got, again, no real options, and his shot really did lack any power. But it's a good effort, and again, it's just good to see Guiseley creating these chances, and hopefully they'll be able to take advantage of one during the second half.
Guiseley pick up the ball inside their own half from the clearance. Kevin Holsgrove's been coming off after the hour mark in both previous games. Wouldn't be surprised if we'd expect to see a change, but he's done very well this evening. Holsgrove now concedes a free kick against Morley. Just leaving his arm across the Leamington defender. And 58 minutes gone, with Guiseley leading by 2-1. Leamington now have a free kick inside Guiseley's half that they can play long, up towards the edge of the 18-yard box. Headed away well by Danny Ellis. Battle on here for Brooksby to try and beat Dodd to it, but Dodd's going to win this one. He leaves it to go for a throw. And Leamington look to just take some of the sting out of it, actually, at the moment. Slow things down, if you ask me, Tom.
Yeah, I think for Leamington, their aim must just be to keep it at 2-1 for a period of time, and then maybe with the last 15 minutes, then go for it and try and get an equaliser. And, you know, just by slowing it down, they're reducing the risk of conceding another.
Well, Leamington take a long throw. Ball headed away and then returned by Dodd. Takes a deflection. It's gone behind for a corner. Leamington now can press with Peter Till running across to the right-hand side. Not committing too many bodies in the penalty area at the moment, Leamington. Obviously making late runs into the box. He's got a man down or feeling his ankle at the moment, actually. I'm not quite sure who it is. Can't see the number from where we are, but it looks like it's going to be a case of going off field for treatment for Danny Newton, the goal scorer for Leamington. Guys, you have to be on the mettle despite this delay. And it's a corner that Leamington will take from this right-hand side. They get the ball in, up towards the penalty spot, up towards Daly. Daly gets the header back across goal, nodded back into the 6-yard box, helped away. Daly will take a volley, and as you'd imagine, from the centre half, taking the ambitious volley, it's gone back and out for a goal kick, thankfully.
Well, that is a defender's finish. He's skewed it horribly wide, but just another one of them where Leamington, they're in the right position with a corner. One or two, you know, not as many men forward as they did during that first half. Maybe if they had, you never know. But just, it's a case of guys, you're just having to be on guard for these crosses because Leamington, they seem to always get the head onto the ball the first time. And, you know, if they do that once or twice more, you never know, they might be able to take advantage and get the equaliser.
Colwyn Bay 2-1 up now against Harrogate Town. They were a goal down, but now it's Colwyn Bay 2, Harrogate 1. Just seem to be having some treatment on the far side. I don't know if there's been a cut for Danny Newton, if that's one of the reasons he's had to go off. There's another man down doing his laces. I tell you what, we could have a little break here. The referee's just going across to have a chat with the Guiseley dugout now. And Mark Bauer has been spoken to by the official. Bit of a shout of off from the Leamington crowd. How do we fill this one in, Tom? It seems to have just taken the sting out it.
Well, it really has, and I'm not 100% sure why the game has been stopped for a few moments. I think the referee's been waiting for Newton to get ready to get back on the pitch, and that is what has happened.
Well, we're back underway. Bit of news from the Stockport Barrow game. Phil Marsh has scored, but the liner has flagged it offside. So, former Guiseley man on loan at Barrow has had a goal chalked off. Stockport leading 2-1 in that one.
I did see the finish he got against Oxford a few weeks ago. Quite a good goal, I've got to say, by Marsh.
Guys, just come forward, nod the ball into the area. It rolls beyond the defender and into the hands of the goalkeeper. Cleared by the goalkeeper up towards the head of Matt Dodd, and then eventually cleared by Boschel. Up towards the centre circle, where it's taken over now by Boschel, and then cleared by Higgins. Eventually sent all the way back to the goalkeeper. And the goalkeeper, Breeden, launches it clear up towards Dodd. Dodd takes it down really well. Takes it past Andy Holdsworth, but a cracking tackle from Holdsworth takes it away from Dodd. Feeds the ball down the right channel, but Alex Johnson hasn't got the legs to get there. And in the end, Mace helps it back to the goalkeeper, who makes the clearance. And Leamington start to make some headway down the left-hand side, but it's run out of play by Danny Newton, and it's going to be a throw into Guiseley. And I think we're going to see a change shortly. And I've seen Danny Forrest warming up as well tonight. But I thought for a minute, actually, we're going to see a Leamington change. They've gone back down to the bench anyway.
Yeah, there's one or two Guiseley players going through quite a rigorous warm-up as well. And I think it looks like Ollie Johnson might be just getting ready to come on, but then he sits straight back down just while I say that. But Leamington as well, they look like they might be making a change. So, and I think it would just be the right time as well. Get some fresh legs on with enough time to make an impact.
Now Wayne Brooksby's picked up the ball on the left-hand side. He muscles off 2 challenges. I know, that's Wayne Brooksby as well. And earns Guiseley a corner down the left-hand side. So that's a really good work there from Wayne Brooksby. And now Guiseley have a chance to get this ball into the area again and perhaps threaten this goal. Up towards Danny Ellis. He heads the ball high, but not towards the goal, and it's easy for Leamington to clear in the end. Disappointing result from that corner. Andy Holdsworth collects the clearance, sends it forward. All long ball stuff. Jake Lawler gets a foot on it. Danny Ellis does well, just to stretch and retain possession. Plays the ball into the area. Good little chip into the feet of Alex Johnson. Johnson twisting and turning. He's got Boschel on the right-hand side. Plays it square into Kevin Holsgrove. Lovely little back heel from Holsgrove back to Boschel. Boschel's distribution tonight on a couple of occasions not been what it's been. Normally this time it's a cross that's gone behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, it has just been a little bit poor by Bosch tonight. He's just once or twice just kicked the ball out of play, and you're thinking, you know, if he'd just gone for the simpler pass, which is what he normally does, it would have been a bit more effective. But again, it's just good play by Guiseley until that pass, and good determination by Ellis to keep the ball in, because that looked like a lost cause. And you know, it's just that bit of determination you need to win these kind of games.
Now it's Leamington who come forward. The ball whipped into the area, straight into the hands of the goalkeeper. And Guiseley roll the ball out to the left-hand side, where Rhys Maynell takes over. Maynell feeds a full ball down the left-hand channel. Johnson goes chasing against Daly. There's a bit of a size difference between those two. Daly's a big, sturdy centre-half. Alex Johnson, of course, a wily centre-forward. Now Leamington collect the ball on the halfway line. Play it forward here with Owen. Owen chips it in the direction generally of Josh Hawker and Danny Newton, but they're not going to get onto it. Finally, we are going to have a substitute. And it looks like Ricky Johnson's coming on for Leamington after all the bench activity, but not before Guiseley have another attack here with Gavin Rothery down the right-hand side. Gets the ball into the area. Just a little bit too close to the goalkeeper. Collected by Breeden before Alex Johnson could get there. But good work from Gavin Rothery in the first instance. Now Dodd comes down the right-hand side for Leamington. It's breathless, very hard to get a word in edgeways, isn't it, Tom? Dodd now goes down to the byline, tries to get the ball across. Very poor distribution from Dodd in the end, and it's gone behind, I think. Hasn't even gone behind, it's gone out for a throw-in on that far side.
Well, yeah, just that's the first time Leamington have really got forward and looked like, you know, Dodd's going to make an impact. He's unlucky, really, because it does just, again, there's just a little bobble before he takes the cross, and that's why he gets it so horribly wrong. But this is a sub, Josh Hawker, who's impressed me. I think he's made quite a bit of an impact during the match, being taken off, and Ricky Johnson coming on, and I think that will just mean that Leamington, you know, just push up just a little bit more, and they've got enough time to try and get that equaliser. And you never know, they might, I'm not 100% sure what their aim is of this game, but I think they will be going for the win just with the way they've played.
So, as Tom says, the first substitute's just been made. Josh Hawker, replaced by Ricky Johnson for Leamington. Presume that must be a like-for-like swap. Johnson straight up into an advanced position, picked up now by Peter Till for Leamington from the throw, gets the ball into the substitute Johnson, who goes down towards the touchline, who does well to win the ball on the touchline, gets the ball across the 6-yard box, blocked by Danny Ellis, only as far as Kevin Holsgrove, who's in a right-back position at the moment. He clears upfield, picked up again, good pressure from Leamington at the moment. They play the ball back in field here for the centre-half, Liam Daly, to come over the centre circle, lofts it forward, looking for Magunda. Magunda gets a flick on, and eventually Jake Lawler helps it away, and Kevin Holsgrove goes on another one of his surging runs down the right flank. He's got the better of Morley here, but comes across Mace. James Mace gets the tackle in to knock it out for a throw to Guiseley.
Well, for someone who hasn't been able to complete a full game, Holsgrove is showing so much determination and so much stamina to complete that run, and getting a throw-in, able to get his side of throw-in in such a good position. And that's great to see from Holsgrove. He looks like he's, slowly but surely he's getting to be in a position where he may be able to get 90 minutes under his belt. And, it's a great position from a throw-in, which could produce a chance.
Ball in from Holdsworth, in towards the feet of Alex Johnson. Johnson tries to turn his man, plays it back here. Holsgrove overhits the cross. It goes over everyone and out into touch. And it's a throw-in that Ryan Higgins will take on the far side.
Well, I'm not sure what Holsgrove was thinking there. Personally, I think he's trying to get that as a shot, because there's so much power that no one was ever going to really get the head onto that. But he's got it so wrong, and it goes out for a throw-in, and all Holsgrove can do is put his hands on his head and really just be a bit embarrassed of that potential shot/pass.
Well, it's the first poor ball really in from Holsgrove. Has had an excellent evening so far, but now Leamington come forward. They've got the ball in the final third. A shot that had the power but no direction comes in from Danny Newton, and it's way over in the end for a goal kick. No sign of substitutes on that Guiseley bench yet.
It's just interesting, this game seems to have just gone into a little bit of a lull. Both sides are attacking still, but it's just during the first half there were lots of chances, lots of real good chances, and during the second half most of the chances have basically been half chances, where it's been a case of the ball being off target rather than it being a case of the keepers being made to work.
Clearance from Drench, sent back towards the Guiseley back line. Danny Ellis has to improvise and make a clearance. Listen to the attendance tonight. Stockport County against Barrow, 2,457. That's what we can expect a week on Saturday. Quite a cauldron, I'm sure. Guiseley, meanwhile, come down the left flank. Leamington come down the left flank, but just overrun it, and it's out into touch. If you're just joining us, Guiseley are leading by 2-1. Leamington took the lead. Danny Newton on 3 minutes, but 2 goals. A header from Danny Ellis on 14, and a drive from the edge of the area from Kevin Holsgrove, making his second home debut for the club. Has given Guiseley the lead. Second half, Lions have had their chances, but so have Leamington. And this game's still on the knife edge. And by my reckoning, we've just less than 20 minutes left of this game. The substitute, Ricky Johnson, just chesting the ball down as Leamington come down the left flank, looking to break down Guiseley's defence once again. The move breaks down. Danny Boschel getting a foot at the right time. Wayne Brooksby taking over, giving it to Andy Holdsworth. Holsgrove looking to give and go with the ball from Holdsworth, and then plays it into Gavin Rothery. And good footwork between Rothery and Brooksby and Holsgrove, but they can't get past this resilient Leamington defence. And Leamington come down the left-hand side here, and a good piece of skill from Peter Till, takes it away from Holsgrove, goes down the left flank, gets the ball whipped in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, headed away well by Ben Parker, helped on by Jake Lawler. Now Wayne Brooksby goes chasing. Can't get the ball through though. It's picked up here by Ryan Higgins. Higgins has got 2 men to aim for in the box. The ball goes up and collected by Stephen Drench. And just for a minute there, Leamington might have wanted a bit more of a better delivery than they got.
Yeah, well, they had 1 or 2 men in the area, and, you know, it's just one of them passes. It always going to Steve Drench, and Drench is, you know, able to be alert enough to collect that. But, you know, with the amount of players that they had in the area, Leamington, I think they'd like to just work the ball into the area rather than just smacking it in and seeming to hope for the best.
Well, Leamington certainly working their way back into this game. You'd hope perhaps we'd have some changes because I think Mark Bauer's got a question or two to answer now in the last 20, really, with the subs. 4 of them available to him. Good quality. Leamington now have the throw on the right-hand side. Get the ball whipped back in towards the penalty spot. This time, Guiseley make the header away. Owen collects it. And a heavy challenge with Gavin Rothery. It's left him on the ground, but they get the ball back into the area, do Leamington. Ben Parker steps across really well. Rothery eventually gets himself up. The ball sent back by Daly to Breeden, the Leamington keeper. Sprays it out to the left-hand side, and there's an offside flag. Anyway, so Guiseley will get a free kick. Couple of goals to tell you about. Barrow are back on level terms. Now it's Stockport County 2, Barrow 2. They were 2-0 down, Barrow. So they're showing their resilience this season once again. And Gainsborough Trinity have now levelled scoreline against Solihull Moors. It's Gainsborough 2, Solihull 2. But it feels like we should see a change or two, Tom. I feel like the game's just beginning to move into Leamington's favour.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I just think maybe just a bit of fresh impetus in attack. You know, someone like Ollie Johnson or Adam Boyes just to come on and just, you know, give something a little bit different, because Leamington, they are now just pushing 1 or 2 men forward, and, you know, guys, it's a case of, you know, you're 2-1 up, but Leamington certainly are pushing forward and could be in a position where, you know, they get that equaliser if things don't change.
Ball into the feet of Craig Owen. And finally it's played onto the left-hand side here where Peter Till takes over. He cuts in field. He's got options ahead of him. Finally plays the short ball and gives it to Craig Owen. Owen goes back over the halfway. Guys are just keeping a good shape at the moment, preventing Leamington coming any further, restricting them to rather poor long-range passing moves that Joe Magunda is guilty of there, and it's gone all the way back to Stephen Drench.
Well, we've asked for the change, and it looks like finally that change will be happening now. I'm not sure he'll be coming off.
Yeah, can't quite see, can we, at the moment?
No.
But, yeah, Guiseley are about to make a change. I think it's Adam Boyes, by the looks of it. Meanwhile, Guiseley are back underway. Alex Johnson getting nothing out of his challenge with Liam Daly. Johnson right up behind him, unable to escape the challenge. Leamington clear into the Guiseley half, and Guiseley return the ball here with Kevin Holsgrove. A heavy pass again from Danny Boschel. Overhits it. Holsgrove, no chance in getting on the end of that. Adam Boyes it is who stood up, ready to come on. Not at that moment. Leamington take the throw, and we're back underway anyway, without the substitute taking place. And a long one forward here, looking to get Ricky Johnson into space. Leamington pick up the second phase really well. Morley gets the ball into the area. Defended once again solidly by Danny Ellis, and we are actually going to have the change. And it's Adam Boyes who is making an entrance this evening, and he's going to be replacing Kevin Holsgrove. And Kevin Holsgrove's had a fine evening so far, Tom.
Yeah, fantastic game by Holsgrove. I think that's his best performance so far since returning to the club. You know, just over the last 5 minutes, he looks like he has just got a little bit leggy, but, you know, fantastic contribution today. Best player during the first half with a really good goal to give Guiseley the lead. And, you know, he's made an impact even in the second half, and he really has run his socks off. And, you know, good to see him getting a few more minutes under his belt, and hopefully he's getting into a position where maybe he will be getting them 90 minutes soon. But Adam Guiseley offer just a little bit something different up front. Not too much different, but a fresh pair of legs as well, and hopefully a fresh impetus to get forward and maybe get that third goal.
So the throw-in to be taken here by Stephen Morley for Leamington. It's sent down the left-hand side. Danny Ellis, again, powerful in the air. Only at the expense of another Leamington throw. They pick the ball up here with Craig Owen. Square to Liam Daly. Daly lofts one long, looking for Newton. Newton gets a touch on it. Guiseley clear, only as far as Owen. Can't seem to get out of their own final third at the moment. Good work here from Peter Till to beat Andy Holdsworth to the ball. And in the end, Till manages to earn his side a corner. Very disappointing from Guiseley's perspective defensively. And now 3 or 4 yellow gold shirts line up in the penalty area as Leamington press, try and get back onto level terms. This one goes in, it's flicked over the head of Johnson. Johnson takes it down at the second attempt, lays it back out for another cross to come back in. Guiseley gets a challenge in there. Eventually there is a header goal bound by Danny Newton. Not actually goal bound, but just goes behind for a goal kick. But they scream for a corner. And in the end it's gone out for a goal kick.
Well, 4 Leamington players have gone to the referee saying this is a corner, and Matt Dodds just still having a word with the referee, putting his case forward that it was a corner for Leamington. But there, you know, Ricky Johnson's such a big figure for Leamington. He's such a big presence, and he'll be a danger from the corners. You know, that's first real time a cross has been aimed at him, and if he nearly got his head on it, if he had, I'd been worried. Might have been going on target and going in.
Well, Gloucester City and Histon are doing battle this evening. Of course, Histon got that valuable point from their perspective against ourselves on Saturday. They've just been reduced to 10 men. Zach Mills has been sent off for a second yellow. Big games down the bottom there. Gloucester currently leading that one. Gavin Rothery now sends the ball down the right-hand side. The goalkeeper comes a long way off his line to make the clearance ahead of Alex Johnson. Guys, he could just have done with a little bit of a respite. A long one forward. Ben Parker makes a rather unconventional clearance. Bounces off the back of his head. I don't think he really knew where it was. Doesn't matter. They all count if it's cleared. Jake Lawless steps across and takes over in midfield. Andy Holdsworth launches one long under pressure from Peter Till and Danny Newton, closing him down. But that's what Leamington are all about at the moment, trying to up the tempo in that final third by trying to close Guiseley down, disrupt the play. And at the moment, it's working. Leamington press forward once again, this time Morley out to the right-hand side. Dodd has a run at the ball with the ball right on the edge of the 18-yard box, slips past his man, goes to ground far too easily. Surely he's not claiming for a penalty for that, was he?
Well, I'm not 100% sure. Matt Dodd, he goes down, he looks at the referee, I think he gives it 1 or 2 seconds, realises none of the Leamington players are appealing, and then he puts his hand up as if apologetically, as if to say, yes, I think I did just go over there quite easily to try and get that penalty.
I think perhaps he slept. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Clearance now by Stephen Drench, flicked on. Guys, you're not getting much of the ball, but Alex Johnson's won very well this ball on the left-hand side. Goes into the penalty area, still players to beat. Takes a shot, side netting. Must have been deflected, though. Referee points to the corner. That's what Alex Johnson can do. Gets the ball, crafts open an opportunity from nothing, really, there.
Fantastic play by Johnson, able to keep the ball just cut inside the area, and it's Ryan Higgins who's able to get an outstretched leg onto the ball. It was on target. I'm not sure if the keeper had got to that, so it's an important tackle. But Johnson, you know, how many minutes we are into this game, he's still going, he's still giving it 100%, and that is great to see. 81
minutes gone. Guiseley lead 2-1, the corner comes in. There's a free kick against the goalkeeper. It was an in-swinger. We could have done with a third, actually, because Leamington have just begun to ask questions in this game. And they do look dangerous, they do look likely. Referee who gave the free kick for a foul on the goalkeeper on the goal line. The goalkeeper was trying to take the free kick from the edge of the area. It's flicked on now as Leamington look to get a direct route through to Guiseley goal, but defended well by Andy Holdsworth and Adam Boys. We haven't seen him have too much of the ball so far since he's come on. Gets hold of it and sends it forward towards Alex Johnson. Johnson lays it back now into the feet of Jake Lawler. 2 players around him, but picks out Gavin Rothery well on the right-hand side. Rothery plays the ball into the area, just ahead of Adam Boys. Boys can't get it. The goalkeeper comes out. Should have done better to hold that, but spilt it. And for a minute, it looked like Wayne Brooksby might get onto the end of it. In the end, Leamington take the ball away down the right-hand side. And Guiseley eventually clear, but a really late tackle on Rhys Maynell, who looks immediately in pain and on the ground. And I think, is that Danny Newton who went in there late, Tom?
I think it is. I mean, immediately both sets of benches have got up. They're not, I think Leamington are trying to plead their case about the tackle, but Mark Barr's clearly not happy. He got straight up off his bench and he's saying how bad a tackle it is. Rhys Maynell, actually, when the tackle was made, was punching the ground. He was in that much pain and he stayed down. And, it looks like a little bit of a worrying injury, this for Maynell. I'm not sure how bad it is, but he looked like he was in real pain and it was a crunching tackle.
Well, Maynell's still down at the moment. Referee still going through the motions with the striker, Danny Newton. In the end, he's just opted for the yellow. But hopefully, and more importantly, Rhys Maynell is okay. The fullback was, he got the ball, he got ahead of the Leamington man, but was very swiftly tackled, shall we say. And I think what happened was that the connection was above the foot, somewhere on the lower leg. But fortunately, I think that hurt, but hopefully no long-term damage. Rhys Maynell's up on his feet and is going across to the touchline. So we really are heading into these last few minutes now, 7 minutes to go. Can we just hold on to this, Tom, or do we need to get the third?
Well, I think the way Leamington have been attacking, you've got to try and get that third goal because they do look like a side that, could get that second goal. And, Guiseley, with what they've got on the bench, the likes of Danny Forrest, someone like Ollie Johnson, bring one of them on. Maybe they could change, the way the game's going at the moment and just move it more towards guys and get that third goal. But just at the moment with Leamington, they look like they are going to get at least one more big chance, and it's going to be a bit of a scary moment for if they can take that chance.
Well, it's a nail biter at the moment, but perhaps Wayne Brooksby could do something to ease the tension. Takes the ball down the left-hand side. Tackled. It's gone out for a throw. If guys, can get the ball into the area here. We've got Rhys Maynell steps across. And he's got a chance to get the ball into the area. Maynell is unable to take the ball back after he plays it into the feet of Brooksby. Ball's played forward now. Boys gets a touch on it, looking to release Alex Johnson, but it's just headed back by Daly to the goalkeeper. And we are now heading into the final 5 with a very tense game here with Leamington on the attack. Dodd onto the right-hand side. Still running down that flank under challenge from Wayne Brooksby. And Brooksby now is going to go into the book because he's taken Dodd completely out there. And another yellow card, another name for the referee. And unfortunately another opportunity for Leamington to put this Guiseley defence under pressure.
Yeah, well, I'd say it wasn't a reckless tackle. I would say it was a tie tackle, though. And, I think Brooksby's just a bit annoyed that Matt Dodd still got so much energy and he's still going because he was really running down that wing, ready to get across. And this is a fantastic chance for Leamington with this free kick.
Plenty of gold shirts on the edge of the 6-yard box, 4 or 5. The ball's whipped in towards that area, flicked on by Johnson. Guys, he can't get their lines cleared. Eventually, Holdsworth gets it away, bounces off the back of Adam Boys, and Holdsworth has to blast the ball against a Leamington man and goes behind for a goal kick. And Guiseley just resist the pressure in the end.
Yeah, it's just getting to be one of the points where it's just a bit of a what am I trying to say?
No idea, Tom.
Nail biter. I'll eventually get it out. And it's just one of them cases. Every time the ball goes into the area, you know, Leamington, they're looking like they're dangerous. They're looking like they've got plenty of men in there. And just one of them with a few minutes to go. Like I said, I think they will get a better chance than that. But hopefully, guys, they can get that third and then it won't matter.
Well, it was never going to be an easy game, so it's proving. Wayne Brooksby just goes on a run down the left-hand side. Gloucester City 2, Histon 0. Histon, of course, reduced down to 10 men. Adam Mann has got the second for Gloucester City. Big result down at the bottom of the Skrill North. We're at the middle of the Skrill North here at the moment. We've got aspirations to be much higher up and leading 2-1 at the moment. Guys, you do need to try and see this game out. There's a chance here for Wayne Brooksby to go past his man, or Alex Johnson rather, and he was pulled down. And then Gavin Rothery tries to feed through the ball to Alex Johnson after the free kick wasn't given against him. Johnson just couldn't collect, and it was a good ball from Rothery, but Johnson wasn't able to get hold of it and go through and goal.
Well, yeah, Johnson, if he could have just made contact there, he would have been one-on-one with the keeper. He agonisingly couldn't get his foot onto it, but it's a good little pass there by Rothery, good thinking. Could have been a chance.
Eventually, Jake Lawler clears. Plays it up towards Alex Johnson. Linesman on this side has given a offside decision against Alex Johnson. As you probably hear, the home fans aren't happy about that. Looked very tight, but it now means that Leamington can come forward once again. Now Dodd's got it on the right-hand side. Dodd's got Johnson. If he can pick him out, he does. It's eventually beaten away by Danny Ellis. Unconventionally, Ricky Johnson was on the edge of the 6-yard box, but a good foot from Danny Ellis, and it's sort of hoisted up into the air, the clearance, and it was collected by Stephen Drench. Clearance now. Alex Johnson's done really well. He's got 4 players around him. Tries to go through 2. They block him out of the run that he tries to make. Leamington now come away with the ball. Tackled well by Danny Boschel, though. Finds Alex Johnson. Johnson's clearly fouled. Guys will get a free kick. Craig Owen's not happy about it, but that just will ease the pressure and perhaps ease up a couple more seconds.
Well, yeah, now a substitution as well. It's just all about running the clock down just a little bit. And, well, Reece Maynell's been on the floor for a few moments now. He's going to be coming off. And just ever since that tackle, Maynell just hasn't been running like he had beforehand, and it does look like he just is carrying a little bit of a knock since that tackle, so it's the sensible thing to get him off and get Danny Hall on. Yeah,
it'll mean a reshuffle in the back line. Ben Parker presumably will go to left back and Danny Hall will resume his place at centre half. Disappointing to see another injury, but just goes to show the strength of the squad at the moment, that we've got a good replacement obviously that can come off the bench in Danny Hall, and options to put Ben Parker into a position he's very familiar with. Now Guiseley take the free kick short. Wayne Brooksby goes running down towards the corner flag. Surely we're not using the clock up already, are we? As we're just waiting for whatever is going to be added as stoppage time. Wayne Brooksby has earned his side a free kick. I'm not quite sure what happened. And eventually it's a free kick to Guiseley. And we've just heard 4 extra minutes to be added on. It's a bit nail-biting at the moment, but Guiseley do have the ball in the right place. They're taking it short. Wayne Brooksby cuts in field. He's got Alex Johnson in there, but he's under tremendous attention from Leamington. The ball flipped forward by Gavin Rothery. I can't speak English now. It's cold and tense. Ball towards Danny Boschel. Boschel does really well, earns Guiseley a corner.
Well, I think when it's 2-1 and you've got just a few minutes to go, the sensible thing is to get the ball into the corner, hold on to possession and just run the clock down. And that's exactly what Guiseley are trying to do right now at the moment. And, you know, they've 1 or 2 men in that corner now for Guiseley. Leamington is trying to bring a few forward just to make sure that they can try and get the ball before them 4 minutes are up. But
corner's about to be taken, and I'm not kidding, guys. He got 5 men back on the halfway line. They've got more men on the halfway line than they have in the penalty area. So the intent is clear. They do concede possession, and Leamington don't get the ball forward as quickly as they like. Peter Till miscues, but then eventually do get it into the feet of Matt Dodd. Matt Dodd down the right-hand side. He's held up for a minute. He's got a chance to get this ball into the area. Leamington coming forward with real conviction now. Headed away well by Gavin Rothery. Helped away by Ben Parker. Up towards Alex Johnson. Johnson helps it back. Good defending, but Parker, bit of a heavy touch. Hits touch. And Leamington will get the throw again.
I think it tells you all you need to know about Mark Bauer's tactics. He's actually holding on to the ball. He's been holding on to it now for about 2 or 3 seconds and just making sure the clock is run down just that little bit more. And, well,
the throw-in's been, I don't know if it was our throw, but eventually it's been taken the other way. Leamington will come over the halfway line with a throw, a long one forward up towards Johnson. He flicks it on, helped away by Lawler. And Guiseley can't clear the lines just at the moment. Leamington will play this one long again with Morley up towards the edge of the area, way ahead of Johnson. Easy for Stephen Drench just to collect. If Guiseley can just take the sting out of it. Stephen Drench doesn't want to be bouncing the ball in the penalty area, does he? It doesn't exactly return up. Takes a long one, and it's headed away by Daly. Danny Ellis, under the challenge from Johnson, does win the head rather. Guiseley eventually clear with Jake Lawler. Sends it down the left-hand side because Danny Boschell's gone on a run down that flank. He's got Mace on him. Boschell slips and can't get hold of the ball anyway, and it's gone out for a Leamington throw. Last passages of this game, deep into stoppage time. Leamington are trying to get the ball forward one last time. Guiseley leading by 2-1 here, having been put behind early on in this game. That's a great character, and they've just got to see the job through. But now a great ball over here for Till, a brilliant ball for Leamington. He's into the area, he plays the ball back as a shot from distance from Johnson. He couldn't get the ball down, fortunately, from the Lions' perspective, because he's fired that one over the bar, and that was a real heart-and-mouth moment, that, Tom.
Well, that was the chance. Leamington were always going to get one before the end of the game. That was it. You know, he's in a fantastic position. He's gone for it first time. He could have taken a touch, got into the area and then seen what other options were available. But he's gone for it first time and it's gone straight over the bar. But just for a second, it looked like Leamington were going to snatch a point at Nethermore.
Oh, dear. That would have been bitterly disappointing. Let's see if we can just see this job through now. Guiseley take the goal kick with Stephen Drench. Up in the air, up towards Wayne Brooksby. He can't get on the end of that one. Nodded forward now. Adam Boys, Wayne Brooksby combine on the left-hand side. Ball forward from Brooksby, offside against Alex Johnson. And that's a chance now, once again, for Leamington to send everyone forward. And we are 3 of the 4. 329 down here tonight, as we're in the 3rd minute of the 4. Picked up now, finally, that minute comes to an end, and the referee blows the whistle. And we all breathe a sigh of relief, really, because that second half of the second half was really quite tense for Guiseley. All the goals in the first 45. Danny Newton scored the first after 3 minutes. He got between the goalkeeper and Danny Ellis to poke the ball home. But Guiseley responded very positively. Danny Ellis headering home on 14 from a corner. And then Kevin Holsgrove making his return debut at home. Blasted the ball from the edge of the area. It took a deflection, took it well past Tony Breeden in the goal and nestled into the back of the net. 2-1. The second half was pretty tense stuff. Leamington certainly grew into the game as it went on. Guiseley had to live by the nerves on a couple of occasions, but 3 points is all that counts. And it's finished here. Guiseley 2, Leamington 1.
Fantastic 3 points for Guiseley and a fantastic result. And, you know, it could have so easily been a point. The way Leamington were getting forward just right at the end. But, you know, that is the kind of performance Guiseley need to put in from time to time. You know, a gritty performance, it's 3 points in the bag, and it's fantastic, just a fantastic result for Mark Bauer and the boys.
Well, hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a great 3 points this evening. We'll be back once again on Saturday, the second of this huge number of home games that we seem to have in a row, when we, of course, entertain Vauxhall Motors. But until then, we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast, and we'll see you on Saturday. Cheers.